known earlier, I would have done it.
I mean, this is kind of out of nowhere. I don't know how she can't possibly be mad at me for that. She can't. She literally can't.
Literally not.
She can.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, it's just not right. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right. It's literally not right. I don't care. Like, dude, I'm streaming. I'm busy. I'm not leaving my stream on for... Dude, and it's not even 10 minutes late. That's just like...
Yeah, the worst part is you threw me under the bus. You said Nick can do it. He'll turn off his shitty fucking...
I did. Dude, that's the thing. Because... You're right. I did throw you under the bus. I did.
Oh, because my viewers aren't important? My 300...
You're right. No, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. I did throw you under the bus.
I mean, if you would ask me literally 30 minutes ago, I would have not streamed it.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
And I'll still do really good.
No, I'm not doing it. I'd take a cap and a half in a fucking heartbeat. If it needs to happen right now.
Fuck you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Bootleg jukebox. Do you see this guy?
No.
I feel like everyone's trying to... Money's tight. Didn't I take an Uber? Didn't I?
No, I don't want to hear you acting like you...
Didn't I take an Uber for an hour and a half on the way home from your house because you didn't want to drive me home from Marietta?
No.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. No,
Yes, I did. I swear on my life I did. Leah, do you remember that morning you said I can't drive you, I don't want to drive you all the way to Marietta? I took an Uber for an hour and a half. Money's tight. I did.
For real, though.
Yes, I was going to stream that day.
That's not hard.
I took an Uber for an hour and a half. I'm telling you to take a taxi to a 10-minute drive. All right, hold on. I'm pausing this game because this is an interesting debate. Very interesting. This is a very interesting debate, and I'm very invested. No, I do. If I had, I would not ever tell you to turn your stream off to drive me somewhere. I don't know. It's a 15-minute drive there and back. No, I'm not. Don't say what the fuck it is. Obviously.
Why?
But here's the thing: 15-minute drive there, 15-minute drive back, 5 minutes to sign the papers that it's done.
You don't have to sign papers.
I did. No, I did. When I picked
Why
up my car.
would you have to sign papers for my car?
You're right. I just dropped you out. No, you're right. Okay, so for 30
Thank God
minutes,
it's actually my
I
work.
leave my stream.
You left it
Holy
AFK to go
fuck.
drive around during Pokemon Go.
Well, that was a different thing, though. That was
No.
completely different.
No, you're still willing to. That was like black screen AFK. You could put the dogs in here and let them stream.
No. I cannot. I actually.
Don't act like you would take a cab.
I swear to God, I would. I have before. I have before.
No,
That's
you
the thing.
wouldn't. You always make me drive you.
No.
Always. You
Yeah.
always say you don't want to have to talk to the guy in the cab. You
Yes.
always say.
And you know what I did? I did an Uber for an hour and a half. You idiot! How do you not understand this?
Why are you calling? Now you're calling me mean.
Because now I'm getting annoyed.
Driving and now you're calling me mean.
I'm actually getting annoyed. I will mute my mic. I don't even care about the stream being called because this is so irrelevant. No. I don't. Okay, they said it's better that you pick it up now, but I know for a fact you can pick it up tomorrow. There's no way the business is gonna say, it's not rude. Tell them I'm working right now. They called you at this moment's notice at the highest working hours for most people in the world, and they say you have to pick it up right now. We're out of space. I guarantee that's not it. I guarantee you can pick it up tomorrow, and I'll bet my life on it. Because there's no way that, like, it's Wednesday. Everyone, like, if you were a normal working lady and you worked wherever the fuck you weren't a streamer, they don't know that, right? They would never be able to just assume you can take off work right now. If you were a waitress, you can't just take off work at 4:30 on a Wednesday and pick up your car within an hour. Money's tight. You can do two things. You can A, take a ride with my mom, or B, you can think, I'll take you tomorrow morning. I have no problem before I'm streaming. Or that's fine. Completely okay with even when I'm done streaming. And I will drive you anywhere as long as I'm streaming.
I wasn't mad that you were on your stream acting like you would just take a taxi.
That's the thing. But that's the thing. I have before for an hour and a half on Uber, and you do remember that day. I can see that you remember that.
It sounds like something I would do.
Yes, you wouldn't make me take an Uber, drive an hour and a half home.
Because it's a 3-hour drive for me. We're comparing 3 hours and 10 minutes. Like, are you dead?
Yes, we are. But I'm
That's
saying.
a far stretch. Like, are you kidding me?
But I would do it. I would easily take a taxi. I would never make you turn your stream.
I wasn't making you. I was asking you what I should do, and you're sitting there trying to act like I was trying to make you. I asked you if you could drive me. You said no. I wasn't even mad. And then you go on to tell me how you would take a taxi, blah, blah, blah.
I would.
That's why I'm annoyed. I'm not even annoyed that you're not going to. I'm annoyed that you're trying to say I'm mad or like trying to defend something that's not even happening.
I would take a taxi in a heartbeat.
Okay, sure. But I wasn't even mad. I even asked you if you could drive me, and you acted like it was a ridiculous question.
I'm sorry, you're right. I thought you were mad at me because I said
no. I wasn't.
Okay, well that's where I was wrong. I'm sorry. I thought you were mad at me because I said no. She's
No, I'm fine with driving with your mom. I don't care.
Okay, alright. My mom will be here in about half an hour. Whew. That was a fun debate. I actually enjoyed that a lot. Are you ready, Nick?
Yeah, dog.
Alright, invite me, dude. That was actually really enjoyable. That made me feel pretty good. I like debating.
All right.
Let me get another Coke, too.
Think about that. Who's taking this dog for runs and hikes?
I'm gonna take him for a run.
Okay, you
Right
still
now.
have 5 more runs after that to catch up to me.
Yeah, I do. So can you please stop talking so I can catch up real quick? I'm kidding. You're such a cutie pie. Got your tail, buddy. Buddy. He's gone. Do I want to play a game of CS?
Yeah.
Let's go play a game of CS.
Right now?
Right
Am
now.
I still my other game?
Leo, we're about to win. Come back. Tell her to come back.
Stop it. I'll do that.
Tell her to come back.
The other game?
It says you're in playing, you're not. Go get another game. Okay, go pee and then get another game. Go pee.
What?
Stop. Okay, go pee and then get in the game. That's just the way it is. Oh, my headset's dead. Everybody, it's not dead. Nick,
Chance. Leah.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Tell her to reconnect.
Go get it. So why don't I? That camera.
I've got a wacky situation I really want to share with you all today. So for about 2 years now, people have made the same joke about me, saying I look like Jesus. Charlie looks like Jesus. Hey Charles, really appreciate the time you forgave all of us for our sins. Takes a big man to do that. Fist bump. Shit like that. And they also used to say I look like Keanu Reeves, which I always took as a compliment because I love Keanu Reeves. I'd suck a fart out of his butt. I think he is great. Now, that's not to say I was ever offended to be compared to the looks of Jesus Christ. I mean, he seems like a pretty cool guy. He would have slayed pussy back then. If he wasn't the son of God, he would have fucked. And he did some cool shit too, like he flipped over a table one time. So it's not like it was ever like, I wish people would stop saying I look like Jesus. It's just a joke we've all heard a million times by now. But what happens when you take a joke and bring it to
What?
a place where humor doesn't exist.
Oh, that must be
Facebook. So it all started a couple
Shack
months
of-
ago when this Facebook page was made. Over the last couple months, a lot of people sent me this page and asked if this was legitimate or if they're impersonating me or if my content was stolen. No, I gave this group full permission to make this Facebook page. I said they could do whatever they want with my content and post it on Facebook. Totally fine by me. And they've done a great job. I'm never on Facebook. The only time I ever go on Facebook is to read comments from desperately horny dudes trying to get laid. So they'll leave comments on girls' pictures all the time saying weird shit like, can I see your boobs? Do those boobs milk and bitch lasagna? Other than that, I just never go on the platform. So I just told this group that they're welcome to do anything they want over there. Get wild with it if they'd like.
This?
And wild they did get. They made a post, this naughty little picture right here, and it set the Facebook mom and grandma community on fire for about a day. It's clearly a playoff of those silly things you see on Instagram and Facebook where it's like just a picture of a Bible they got from Google Images, and then it just says if you scroll past this, you go to hell. Up, dude, and you go to heaven and win $1 million tomorrow. And that shit usually flops. No one ever really engages with it. But for some reason, this one
So
popped
try.
off in like the 50-plus-year-old mom and grandma category. So it just says, share if you love Jesus, 99% of you won't. And it's just a crudely photoshopped picture of my face on a holy person. It looks like a goddamn album cover. And for some reason, the Facebook comments all truly thought it was supposed to be a picture of Jesus. So all of these Facebook elderly women are just like repenting for sins and saying amen and we love you, Jesus. We love you. Thanks for being our friend. It's absolutely adorable. It is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Now, please hop into my van real quick and let me take you for a ride through these comments here. But before I do that, Jesus might forgive you for your sins, but I won't. I'm doing a massive charity stream right now at twitch.tv/moistcritical, where we're going to be eating some of the spiciest peppers and the spiciest hot sauces on the planet, all the way up to 7 million Scoville. One of them actually is questionably 9 million Scoville, but depending on who you ask, it's 7 to 9. And we're going to be playing some of the hardest games imaginable, like Jump King, Alt F4, and shit like that. It's for a charity called Cure Rare Disease. We did another big charity stream for them earlier this year because it's a charity we strongly support. So I'd absolutely love to have you stop in. It's going on right now, twitch.tv/voicecritical. I'll put a link in the description as well. Even if you don't want to donate, just stopping by and having some fun is great too. Now, let's check out these comments. It should go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Please don't go out of your way to harass any of the people here. These are just good God-fearing Americans. They love Jesus. Now, I'm of course going to be blanking out all of their names, but trust me when I say there's an incredible amount of Beverlys, Gertrudes, Muriels, names that I don't think have been used in the last 60 years. So it seemed like the post really made them excited. There's a lot of caps lock here. I love God with all my heart and soul and always and forever. Amen. I love my Lord. He calls me friend. That's just so goddamn sweet. That is just heartwarming. I'm not actually Jesus Christ, but I'll still call her my friend. People just got real fired up in the comments here. It's like you go into a biker bar and just start chanting USA, and then everyone's cheersing and butt-chugging beers by the end of it. Like, everyone just came together and it's like, we love God, amen. Thank you, Jesus, for everything you did. Thinking, for some reason, that a picture of me photoshopped was a picture of Jesus. Good Lord. Things started to get a little wild in the comments. Like I said, it's like 100-something pages, and it's all kind of like this. So there's a giant heart there at the bottom. It says, love you, Jesus, 100% you are my father now. Never had a father, amen. That's a little sad, and it made me feel bad because they're saying that's a picture of me. But, you know, things kept getting wild there. So in the middle there, you'll see, amen, yes, I love it. Praise the Lord, amen, and amen. And they dropped a random link to something. And I was too much of a pussy to click it because I thought for a second they might have just dropped some malware in there. You know, hey, love you, Jesus, but fuck everyone else in the comment section here. Here's a Bitcoin miner. You know, but guessing by how wholesome everyone is here, there's probably just like a photo album of whoever this is in their family at church or something. But I wasn't going to run the risk. They had this crazy streak where it was nothing but amen. Until in the middle someone broke the combo by just saying of course. But it was like 10 straight pages of nothing but amens, which was extremely impressive. Then eventually someone finally got me. They said, why do you post a picture of a model or actor? This is not Jesus. You do not know how he looked as a human being. GS. I don't know what GS stands for. Perhaps good suck, maybe? I'm not really sure. But they finally caught me red-handed. They knew I wasn't actually Jesus, but I was still flattered that they called me a model or actor. Honestly, I was expecting the next sentence to start with, in fact, I think I recognize this man from the Hunger Games franchise. This isn't Jesus at all. I was actually blushing when I read that. And then at the bottom, someone just said, beautiful picture. Oh, it was so wholesome reading these. I won't show any more, but it goes on for hundreds, all saying, I love him, I love you, Jesus, thanks, Jesus, let's go, Jesus, thanks, amen. It's fucking awesome. It is so cute. It is adorable. I'd love to imagine a world where Jesus is out there, like the real Jesus Christ, and he has a Facebook account, but his shit is getting no action. Like, he's not doing any numbers. He's like, where are my followers at? You know, like, come on, like my post, fuck. But they're calling him a fraud and just liking a picture of me that's photoshopped. Like, that's Jesus, not this guy. This guy's full of baloney. It's obviously, it's just a really wholesome situation here that I just felt wanted to share. Really, that's about it. So, yeah.
Fuck you. Nice. Okay. Sword song. Attacking ahead. Behold crab. Is that a I mean there. Arr. Arr. Oh, this is horse shit. Oh wow, you got me. You didn't stagger. Interesting. I want my horsey. Horsey, horsey. Visions of a pickle. Oh, she wants to read my fingers, right?
You, please, you're. Michaela's slaughter, slaughter, slaughter. The all-hearing slaughtered. But alas, it was for naught. But all you need do is snatch it from the big pot. Pity the poor, poor.
I have become a huge fan of watching school board meetings now. I treat it like a sport. But I'm not really cheering for anyone. I'm just there to appreciate the players going out there and giving it their best. I love watching this shit. With everything going on with masks and vaccines, school board meetings have become absolutely like a modern gladiatorial arena. It's extremely entertaining. And today I want to share the most recent one with you. This actually happened in my own backyard, state of Florida. It's everything you'd expect from the state of Florida, just not with any bath salts at this, unfortunately. They said, hey, no drugs. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to see them playing at their optimal efficiency in their normal habitat. They were here sober, to the best of my knowledge, which I think is a bit of a shame. They should definitely change the rules at these school board meetings to allow for performance enhancers like meth, especially in Florida where it's just so common. But anyway, I'm going to show you some of the clips of the people going up there to talk, but I do want to say there was a fist fight there. And I can't show you the video because, unfortunately, I think YouTube would take it down. So I'm just going to do my best to paint a picture with words for you. Imagine your old librarian from middle school. You know, she's a bit of an old battle axe, right? You know, a little slippery scallywag. She's not very nice, and she's a bit of a wino. She hits the wine pretty hard, and she's squaring off against your own mother. Like, your actual mom is there. And I want you to imagine them locked into a bout of Mortal Kombat, but as if they were both drunk zombies. So nothing's really landing. And then eventually one of them gets like a titty push in. She goes for like a one-handed titty shove, so she shoves her titty back, and then it gets broken up by a police officer. There were some fists flying, but nothing connecting. They were throwing out some wet noodles, but it's like both of them needed glasses and decided not to wear them that day, so they were just like punching air. You know, it wasn't really even close to the target. It's like they were trying to punch ghosts around their target, or like fighting their spirit. So none of the punches landed except for the booby thrust, and then it gets broken up. But there was one person that really stood out to me in the fight. She wasn't directly participating, but it's this woman right here, wearing a full American flag dress. So we had a real patriot in attendance that day. Fucking female Duke Nukem over here, just loves America, and she's there just trying to show her support for helping kids get sick. I am sorry the quality's a little low on that screenshot. It looks like a picture of Sasquatch. I'm sorry about that. That's the best quality I could find for her attire. But anyway, let me get into showing you the actual school board meeting clips.
I'm going to tell you that your time is up. The people of the city and the district are rising up, and you have awakened a sleeping beast.
That's right, baby. The beast is up and angry, ready to tear scalp from skull at the upcoming WrestleMania. I bet when she wrote that, she thought it sounded really cool and intimidating, but all I get is like 1990s Attitude Era WWE promotionals in my head.
Maybe the reason why we have people in the hospital is all this mask wearing. Did we ever think of that? Did we ever think of that?
Oh, wow. Now, there is a thinker. Oh, man, yeah. I don't know if we ever stopped to consider that. Maybe it is the masks that are making everyone sick. Wow. She's really blowing the case wide open. She has like the actual thought processes of a child. You know, that she then gonna start lobbying that we remove cracks from pavement because if you step on a crack, you break your mama's back.
Put the mask on those children. It's robbing them of their education. You are robbing kids of their developmental rights in terms of education. Are you educators? Don't you know that?
She is making a good point. Everyone knows that your brain turns off when your mouth is covered. Every time you go to eat something and your mouth gets full, like you just go fucking full brain dead for a split second. Everyone knows that. So she's at least making sense here. You simply cannot learn while wearing a mask, obviously. I mean, how are you expected to do mathematics if there's a mask over your face, right? Like, it's simple, it's elementary, really. I wonder if anyone ever told this lady that doctors and surgeons typically wear a mask when performing important operations. But that's probably a lie. I mean, the government probably made that up. I mean, you usually go under when you have, like, really important surgery. So you're asleep. They're probably not wearing a mask and you're just being lied to. Since you haven't seen it with your own eyes, they're probably not actually wearing a mask, and if they were, they'd be drooling over themselves because their brain would be off. Like, you can't do anything when you have a mask on, obviously, as she's saying. So yeah, no, that's probably a lie. They're probably, when they're doing surgery, they're probably wearing like a leather jacket with like a cigar in their mouth or something, so that way they can really focus. Mrs. Claus here really is onto something. Like, you just can't learn if you're wearing a mask, and that's a really good argument, I think. Like, there's a lot of merit to that statement. If you're the dumbest fucking person on earth.
sex trafficking. A mask on these kids'
Why
face.
wouldn't you?
You can't identify any of them.
What? Excuse me? Buddy, it's a school board meeting. For a second there, I thought he was going to start, like, complaining as, like a child sex trafficker himself. You know, it's like, I can never tell what their age is anymore, god damn it. And it's making my profession as a human trafficker much more difficult, god damn it. So this needs to...
They don't care. They hate your kids. They hate my kids. They hate your kids. They hate my kids. Get it?
Yeah, fucking busting out some stinky rhymes there for a second. You're about to go into a full-blown freestyle for him. I'm pretty sure everyone that showed up here to demand that masks be ripped off of kids' faces are the ones that actually hate their own kids. I don't think they even view them as their own children. I think they just view them as, like, political tools or something to enforce their own beliefs and agenda. So I think they're really kind of the ones that hate the kids. But that goes against the song she was about to bust out there, the little nursery rhyme she was working up. But, like, there's just, I'm sure even, like, a 9-year-old can recognize, like, there's nothing to be lost by having a mask over your face. It's not like it's harmful. It's not, like, ruining your life. So what's the point? Even if you don't think it works, it's no different than just having a dress code at school. Like, if you go to a school and they say, hey, you can't have assless chaps, it's not like you're going to make a big hoopla about that. Like, no, I should be able to have my asshole exposed to the world, right? Like, it doesn't matter. If it's just part of the dress code, who cares, right? But to these people, it's more than just that. This is the only thing they have now. This is their whole personality is just being against the mask in the backseat. It's a stupid hill to literally die on. We've already seen, what, like 10 different radio hosts that kept preaching no mask, no vaccine, just literally die from it, and then talk about how much they regretted it. So, I mean, it's a cycle that seems to want to continue. And I feel bad for the kids because it's their parents that are trying to hurt them just because they have a stupid belief. They're literally going to Gangnam Style on the corpse of their own kid for it. And I don't think they're going to care either. But I just wanted to say that because I think she's really the one that hates her own kids, and she's just kind of projecting that on the school board that she's whining and complaining to.
99.9 live through this flu, especially the kids, and the data proves that too. Science and law shouldn't be changing so fast. Has Nuremberg taught us nothing of medical tyranny in the past?
Meeting pals.
This guy's face really says it all. She brought up Nuremberg. Good lord. Like, some of these people are just too far gone, to be honest. Like, there's just nothing you can do. They just desperately need something to cling to that they feel makes them unique or makes them feel smart, and this is what they've chosen. And I don't think many of these families ever really admit when they're wrong. I do remember not long ago, there was a family who 2 different members of the family died, and they ran 2 GoFundMe campaigns and still kept saying no mask, no vaccine, even in their own fucking GoFundMe campaigns, as they were lobbying for money for funeral services for the 2 members that died from it. So it's just one of those things, man. I don't know what you do about it except just sit back and laugh at them anymore. Like, there's just nothing you can do. They refuse to believe, like, the most basic understanding of anything, and it sucks, but it's a pretty fucking lit school board meeting, right? Like, the content from the school board meeting's pretty fucking A tier. Of course, I feel super bad for the kids because they didn't choose to have stupid parents. It's just really unlucky. And, yeah, I just wanted to share some more cool school board meetings with all of you, and that's about it. So, yeah.
Examine the vessel.
About 4 or 5 months ago, there was a TikTok account that I was made aware of. I won't say the name of it, nor will I say the name of the channel that I'm about to talk about here. And as always, please don't go and harass this person. But the TikTok account, it was basically one guy going into these pseudo-intellectual takes, trying to break down why women are the way they are, implying that they're stupid and built differently, making them inferior to men, saying things like they can't get close to God like men can, and that they can't be trusted. Just horrible shit. He'd also imply that they only care about big dick and a lot of dick, and like, yeah, the only way to get laid is by having a huge sledgehammer penis. Science confirmed it. It's just like really alarmingly terrible shit. And over time it became more and more clear that this guy just doesn't like women. He seems to just hate women. Just really awful shit. He eventually got banned for it, luckily. But now he's taken that filth and put it on YouTube. And I just wanted to share a little bit of it with you. So this is a video of his called Women Are Not Real. And I don't like to use this word, but this is the epitome of incel shit.
Women are the physical manifestation of sensory perception. And in the same sense that when your senses are overloaded in any particular way, whether they're overloaded with pleasure or overloaded with pain, if your senses keep receiving that same stimulus over and over, you are not going to have as strong of a reaction to that same stimulus.
None of that meant anything. Everything he said there had actual no meaning behind it. It's just a lot of fucking nothing. You just took a bite out of a nothing burger that this guy fed you on his ass. He so desperately wanted to sound smart, it's just not working. I also can't tell if he's 15 or in his 20s. It's impossible to know for sure, but it looks like he's still going through puberty.
In this same sense, being that women are the physical manifestations of this phenomenon, that is why women's value must be preserved. They can't be trusted to handle anything of greater responsibility, anything of greater importance than daily household chores and taking care of babies. Not taking care of children, taking care of babies.
Well, that sounds a bit alarming, a bit of a red flag, but who am I to question the expert? Just look at the amount of books he has on his shelf. This guy's clearly a genius. He also even has some cursed ancient Egyptian relics back there for some reason, like the fucking Millennium Puzzle or something. So, I mean, he must know what he's talking about. He seems very, very knowledgeable. When I first heard this, I was convinced it had to be a troll, but the more and more I look at this guy, the more clear it becomes that this guy has just actually been indoctrinated into the incel shit. He comes out right away and just says the only thing women can handle is household chores and babies. Holy shit.
Because once babies turn into children, that's when the psychological development comes into place, which far exceeds the capabilities that women are able to provide for the child. But going back to the value preservation, women's value has to be preserved, while a man's value has to be created. Women are born with inherent value, men are born with no value, or next to no value.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, men really got the short end of the stick. You have no value compared to women. Who the fuck hurt this guy? I find it hard to believe he's ever talked to a woman, so I don't think he has like a real world experience getting like his heart broken or something, causing this kind of monster he's become. I really think he's probably just been terminally online and then just started adopting the incel beliefs.
The reason a woman has inherent value is because her value is based on her fertility. To put it bluntly, that's what it's based on. Women's value is based on their fertility. That's why it's in the best interest of a woman not to waste her inherent value and try to lock down a high-value man or a man who looks like he's on his way to becoming high value as soon as she can.
That's right, ladies. Time is running out. You're missing your chance with this high-value alpha male. Like, what are you waiting for? Your ovaries are drying up. Your pussy, it's gonna turn to dust unless you let this guy put his dick in it. So, you're fucking up. You're losing a high-value male by waiting around. Come on, he's just right around the corner over there.
Like I said, the more experiences, whether positive or negative, that a woman goes through decreases her value because women cannot handle the stresses or the pleasures of life.
Yeah, ladies, you're supposed to stay locked in a fucking isolation chamber, a sensory deprivation tank, and wait for this fucking angel to grace you with his huge wiener. Alright? The more times you're having fun, the more times that you're maybe being sad, the less valuable you are. So stop having experiences, okay? Just exist in a fucking ball and wait for this man to ride in on his white stallion with a chariot and his dick and balls out and take you off your feet. So that way he can breathe. God damn it, stop being so selfish and having experiences, you harpies. I'm obviously cutting some parts of this video out because he struns on and on and on and on. So I'm trying to just get all of his main points here, and my God, is it absolute lunacy.
The more stress she goes through, the more she sees the world as nothing more than a negative place. And I've mentioned this in a previous video, but it's because women are not able to connect with God in the same way that men are. Women are not able to renew themselves mentally. They see everything on earth through the lens of the material.
What in tarnation? I must have missed that lesson in Sunday school, but he's blowing the case wide open. Apparently women just can't connect to God the same way men can. And if you can't have a good connection to God like this guy does, I mean, you're fucked. What's the point? You don't have any value. Over and over and over again, this guy harps on the belief that he thinks women are too stupid to handle anything. He doesn't even view them as humans, it sounds like. He literally views them as like machines to pump out babies. All he says is that women aren't capable of handling experiences. That's like his main point right now. They don't have the same mental fortitude that men do, nor do they have the same connection to God that men have. Like, what the fuck is even wrong with you to think that for a second?
They see everything on Earth through the lens of sensory perception. If something doesn't excite them enough, then it's not a good thing. If something stresses them out too much, then it's also not a good thing. Everything has to be new, everything has to be fresh, everything has to be exciting all the time, 100% of the time, otherwise it's bad. That's how women see the world. They don't have an accurate lens of reality through which they see the world. They just don't see reality.
Oh, but this guy sees reality. Yeah, this guy's really grounded in reality. This guy is so perceptive to reality. He's like Doctor Strange. He can see every possible reality in the known multiverse. Oh my god. And then he talks about women like they're all exactly the same, just fucking clones of each other. He can't even wrap his head around the idea that people are different and not just what he reads about on these weird fucking subreddits.
They interpret the quality of reality through the type of sensory input they're receiving. That's why girls don't work out. You ever wonder why the vast majority of women don't work out? They're fortunate enough to be born with a nice looking body, and then it just wastes away. They don't work out. They could preserve their body a little bit by working out.
Well, you heard it here first from this sculpted Adonis who only films from above the nipples to hide lack of muscle definition. No woman has ever worked out, or at least not many of them.
That's why. It's because it hurts. Working out hurts. And since women only interpret the world through sensory perception, anything that hurts is a bad thing. They can't handle it. They literally can't handle working out. That's how strongly this influences their mind. And just as when I was saying earlier, when a woman goes through too many negative experiences, she's not able to renew herself because women are not as connected to God. They're not able to refresh themselves psychologically. They're not able to detach themselves from the material world.
Yeah, you suck. Yeah, you just fucking suck. It blows my mind that somebody like this not only exists, but also is delusional enough to post it online. Just literally put his face on this garbage. I can't imagine this is super helpful for him in his career if he has one, or if he's trying to make a career out of getting professionally banned on TikTok repeatedly.
So do pleasure experiences. If a woman has the best sex of her life with a guy, she will never be able to enjoy another man again.
Oh, that's what happened here. The old 2-inch glory wand isn't getting the job done. The old skin flute ain't performing the way it used to. I just need to find something to blame? Okay. Now we're starting to put together the pieces of this jigsaw puzzle.
Even pleasurable experiences are too much for the woman to handle because they cannot refresh themselves. They can't see men in a new light. They can't appreciate different aspects of the man. All they see is whoever gives them the most dick, whoever gives them the most exciting experience.
I wonder if this guy actually believes that all women are just this wiener-hungry monster that's just constantly, like, foaming at the mouth for more cock to munch on. But it's never his wiener. You know, I can't imagine that he truly thinks that the only thing that matters to a woman is a penis. Like, how delusional. My God. I cut out a really long section where he just goes into divorce court, and to be fair, divorce court's pretty corrupt, like a lot of things. I don't think there's many people that would argue that divorce court is great, because it goes from that right back into, the only thing women care about is dick. Who gives them most dick? They collect dick like Pokemon cards. My dick's good enough, goddammit!
Whoever takes her on the most expensive date, the more expensive date, he's the one who's gonna take the cake. She will forever look at every other date after that with a sense of pity. You ever notice how girls with a grand through or just more attractive girls tend to look at men with a sense of resentment or a sense of pity?
Bro, they look at you with a sense of resentment and pity because you are pathetic and creepy. Like, it's not... You make all these massive generalizations. It's nutty. The things this guy says and the points that he makes are things that you would have read in Elliot Rodger's Manifesto. It's dangerous shit to actually fall into this pit where you think women are only here for men's pleasure and they only care about 3 things: dick, money, and height. I don't know if he even mentions height. I don't know the rest of the video, but he's already talked about how they only care about the biggest dick, the most dick, whoever has the most money.
Or they look at nice guys, definitely, with a sense of pity as well. It's like, oh, it's so cute. Look at him trying so hard. This is actually impressive. Look at him trying so hard to impress me. Why is he trying? It's like they're confused. They're like, why is he trying so hard to impress me? What have I done to deserve such effort? Even they are not confused about the amount of value they provide. Even they understand that they are ruined. Even they understand that their value has gone out the window. It went out the window with the first 100 guys they slept with. And I do mean 100.
Even women, in their dumb, small brains, understand that they're ruined because they didn't fuck with me. Even they understand with their primitive understanding of God and sensory perception can understand they're not worth the effort of the nice guy. Ugh. So gross.
Therefore, women are naturally going to have more options. It just makes it seem like that. That's why women's egos are through the roof. That's why the moment they don't get this attention, they go fucking nuts. Because it's been that way their entire lives. Don't be fooled. Even they understand that their value is gone. That's why they don't like guys treating them with appreciation. That's why they don't like guys treasuring them. Because they know they're not treasures.
This guy's definitely undergone a transformation. He's digivolved from nice guy to fucking creepy cult leader, weird man. Don't like women.
They know they're not worthy of that treatment. They're in such denial. Women are masters of self-denial. They don't deny themselves anything. They'll take anything they can get. Women say men will fuck anything. And then he be anything that gets fucked.
They're been broken many times, like a Grinch for Christmas. Just can't stand it now, huh? He just really can't even tolerate a woman from this house. And I have to wonder, how does this all tie into the title, Women Are Not Real? Everything he's saying here still reaffirms their existence. I understand it's supposed to be like a clickbaity title. I mean, at least like relatively connected to it in some way.
It's so funny because for all the resentment towards men that ran through women have, the sure do seem to have sex with them all the time. They'll still take anything they can get. They don't. It's not like they turn down men's advances. It's not like.
Oh, so it must be pretty easy to get laid if women aren't allowed to say no. Apparently, no woman has ever turned down a man's advances. Because then he goes on to say that they just fuck anything that moves. So, wow, I mean, I guess it's pretty fucking easy. You just gotta take that first step, like, hey, sex, and it should work out just fine.
They're able to make it seem like they're just victims and really the men are the perpetrators. Things are much more nuanced and complex than the vast majority of people will ever realize, much less admit to. But I don't want to ramble on for too long. I think I've spoken on this long enough.
He is right about one thing. He rambled on for way too fucking long. It was a chore to sit through this video. And to really add it to injury, he used an anime profile pic of Johann Liebert from Monster, which is a pretty good anime, and a pretty fitting profile pic for this guy, I think. Because he strikes me as a psychopath. Like, the shit he says is so disconnected from reality, while trying his best to convince himself that he's the only one living in reality. His big bombshell point he makes at the end, which I completely cut out because it's too stupid, was women have more options than men. They can have more sex than men when they want to.
Oh,
that was
right.
like his big gotcha at the end, and treated it like it was some huge government secret. Such a fucking wild ride of a video. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. So yeah. Today I watched a video that was physically painful, which is uncharacteristic because I'm not really looking at it.
worse or worse, having no contact at all with bosses who might have no experience in management and might be a child themselves. I like that, like, thought process. Like this underground syndicate of developers, they've gone rogue. And it's a bunch of fucking kids that's just exploiting each other for their robots. It is crazy to me. I feel like it'd be better if kids weren't creating games for kids. I feel like it'd be better if it was teams doing it, because at least then you know as a parent, it's at least something of decent quality. Like if I had a kid, the last thing I want him doing is wasting his fucking time playing something that my dumb neighbors can't see. I want him playing something good. Fucking Cypher or some shit. Will I pay my child for that? I don't know. Playing this street push. I don't know. Is it safe for my child to do this? Oh, absolutely. But if something does happen to my child, I'll tell you who does take access to this. Actually, this topic. And it's right here on the terminated players list. This is where the Roblox village lives. Forever in infamy on the wall of shame. We got the most heinous players in all of Roblox history, including Greg9 and Greg 1999112 son. And if you go down far enough, you'll find those guys really involved. The X's. Why'd you not have you? Where's Sonic the Hedgehog? XX Sonic the Hedgehog? He escaped. That's probably what it was. Oh, I got it. The X's came after. Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. This guy terrorized the streets of Roblox for far too long. Not even the CIA was enough to stop him anymore. He had to be taken down by other kids in the server. Until one day he just left us. They weren't locked in there with him. He was locked in there and God rest his soul. He actually commented on my Roblox video. He actually still goes by this name on the YouTube channel. So, it's a bit disingenuous to say Roblox doesn't do anything when there's bad actors in their community. Because, I mean, look at this. Just count this something. Jim Wool is, yeah, I haven't seen Jim Wool on these lists yet, but he's probably just too new. He's like the most recent raid. In fact, talking about what your boss did to you on the official Roblox developer forums, all on the category. Yeah, if you're mistreated by your boss, don't tell Roblox. Yourself get banned. Rightfully so. Fucking snitch. The structure of Roblox is so strange to me because I had an offer of like $20K from a Roblox game developer to have them make games for me to see. Somewhat sketchy, and I wasn't sure how involved Roblox was.
Did I kill the Knight Rider? Did I kill that fucker? Or did more time pass? Oh. Past time. Did I kill him? I did. Oh. Okay, so I think I did everything here. Well, that's fine. I think I killed you too, right? Yeah. killed you. Fuck out of here. Where's the death bird? So I'll try to find a death bird over here. What's that? 6.
Hold on, I'll read that. So it's kind of like the zero tolerance thing. RuneScape kind of has the same thing. If you get scanned, you basically go fuck yourself. It's really not like the worst.
This is 3. Yeah, I can also go to the underground. About. Isn't this fucker? Maybe it has to be night. Oh, yeah. There we go. Go fight the troll. You're gonna despawn yourself. Oh. Come on. Nice. Yeah, of course. You're gonna try to fucking kill me? Alright, you're done. Nice. Did I not get any? Blue feathered branch sword. Inventory. Melee armaments. Melee. Shit. It's called a sword. 50. Whoa. I'm like a giant though. I could have sworn that shit sounded like a giant. Where's the fucking feather bullshit? Feather sword. Fuck you have. What the fuck is this? I'm not seeing no fucking I'm really not seeing no feather sword. What? The fuck is the feather sword? Yeah, that's fake news. Oh, maybe it's just defense on HP. That's like the root tier stone, right? Vitality. What's the difference? I don't need that. It's something. I wonder if I can get off there. I doubt. Fuck it.
We have a large, expertly trained team with thousands of members dedicated to protecting our users from monitoring 24/7 for inappropriate content.
So it sounds like they have the team.
Developers remove
Why doesn't it work?
quality violations. Also lose access to monetizing. That's not true. That's what all of these people are trying to tell them again and again. Doc is still publicly leads the development of his Sonic game, as this recent update video from him proves. Doc's ban did nothing. He's still making money for Roblox and paying developers to come and work under him.
You're probably asking, what's up with the rest of SEO? Where is it at?
I wasn't asking that.
We've been making some stellar progress as of right now, and we actually have a bunch of things.
But if you look at this video published on his channel in April of this
I can actually just hear the Dorito dust on that guy's fingers. My God.
including this
He has the voice of a creepy guy.
Steadily regaining our footing.
What you're looking at here are collectible cosmetics. Roblox either sells a limited number of or sells So they have basically what you have to do. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
You've got some gambling.
Blow up.
Let's go. Market. Here, Roblox always makes that. Oh. What? 30? Yeah. Also, you only get a 23% cut from your game all Roblox.
I doubt they're gonna let me. Cooperative. Oh, competitive.
Man, Roblox has got it figured out. So you take 20, you only keep 23% of your game's profit as a developer, and if you're selling items, you get 70, so you do get the lion's share.
On the side.
But a 30% cut to Roblox on that is an absurd thing. What is not? You made 6% in a long time since I created items. What is it? It looks like 5% of the market and 30% per game. I mean, I just did a really quick search, but it looks like about maybe 30% of the game and 5% of items on their stores. Ooh, that's a lot. That is 5% is fine on the market side, but 30% of the game I didn't know it that big. 30% is industry standard, is it? I mean, depending on being on Steam, it's a good platform for.
I'm gonna die. Or die. Yep. Falling a mile away.
You're a developer and you're making a Roblox game, it can't be anywhere but Roblox. It still seems like a lot. When Jack was 13, he managed the impressive feat of making the Roblox game. Oh my god, he's a billionaire.
It was really just stupid back then, but like I spent it on stuff in the catalog instead of indexing it into real money, which I really regret now. I spent like half of it. I bought like 2 fixes and then after the introduction finished renting and I got it in my account, I wanted this bigger item. It was called the Silver King of the Night.
Why is Roblox selling children 90% off
Maybe it's pretty mind-boggling.
That's why.
I spent that much money in real life.
I want that. Go. It's gonna be.
Oh my god. Key logic.
Just by having the cookie being sold, the limited items, like ranging and making like I think it was like 50K after he sold them. I hate myself because of it, because like with that money, I could have made like the kids proud.
Oh, that's so fucking
That money I
sad.
can
Poor
work.
guy.
In Roblox Studio, there's something called the toolbox, where like you can get assets made by other people and use them for your own game. And then the game got banned because I wasn't allowed to use something that Roblox had provided to me.
Some split? It turns out that enhancement resources from someone else's game that uploaded them to the toolbox illegally, which meant Jack was using them illegally, even though he provided them by the official Roblox channel. God damn!
And this strip's crazy.
Jack got baby.
Maybe I can defeat that.
Damn, look at the
Fuck
price
it, I'll
of
try
that
it.
bitch down there. The Crimson Wrath, the Red Wrath. 69, 69,
Barely
69.
need one of those
So that's about, what, $3,000? Roughly $3,000? Dude, well, the white sparkle, but of course, the white sparkle, this is probably one of Don's Robo-Fat Man, what was it? Robo-Fat Man? Probably one of his custom items. The $1.4 million fedora, Robux fedora. So that's gonna be 8,000? Right around 8,000? Oh, you're right, there's a 9 million, I didn't see it with the caption. There's 9 million Robux Magna Spectro Inspector. What the fuck is this? Little Dexter's lab goggles? Whoever owns this owns Roblox right now. Oh, I want to take a peek at those bad boys. Let me go to the Roblox stocks. The limited face accessory was published in the Avatar shop by Roblox. Could have been purchased for 500 Robux and only 66 were sold. Imagine one man has all 66. He'll be the next Warren Buffett, the ultimate Roblox investor. Can I see the owners? Is it like an NFT? Can I see who owns all of them? Is this it? This is it? Oh my god, I can actually see that. Kind of like I Was a Great Warrior. It was the card that Konami made for a kid that was struggling with his disease. And
listed as one of the most valuable cards ever, so it's kind of like that for Roblox. I see. Okay.
Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Heavy here.
Just show me how much it sold. You all know how much I love conspiracies, reptilians, flat Earth, the revival of JFK Jr. and his upcoming presidency announcement, 5G, Wi-Fi, reprogramming, gamer DNA, fucking microchips hidden in our spaghetti. I love all of it. But what if I told you there's a new and growing conspiracy that makes all of these look rational? I'm talking about the secret space program. The secret space program, to break it down, is basically a group of people who believe that they were at one point selected by space Nazis to fight intergalactic threats, and they are augmented super soldiers that have lived on Mars for 300, 400 years in some cases. They command high-tech mechs like Gurren Lagann shit straight out of an anime. And it's people who genuinely believe this. They have their own seminars, the meet and greets, they have their own community. I was recently made aware of this thanks to a YouTuber named Oki's Weird Stories, a fantastic channel, and a lot of work went into a video he produced where he talked about and infiltrated this conspiracy group. It's truly amazing. We watched it on stream, and I'll play clips of that now. But I'd encourage you to watch the full video to get like the absolute all-encompassing experience, because I can't do it justice. There is so many layers to this onion, not even Shrek could get to the bottom. It's fucking amazing. But my god, I was blown away by what I was seeing and learning. So I've of course done my own research on it now, and it is even better than I could possibly imagine. The Secret Space program is where morphing, fanfic, and main character syndrome all collide into this singularity, this fucking super notebook of entertainment. It is amazing, and it would be enjoyable if people didn't actually believe it. From everything I can see, this isn't some kind of joke movement or anything. Like, of course, you have the fun ones like birds aren't real, but you all know, and not to spoil the surprise or ruin Christmas, like Santa's not real, the birds not real movement is made as a joke. And I know that's kind of blasphemous to say, but in comparison to the secret space program, which is taken very seriously.
For the White Dragon Society. With me here is Choloin Daikon. He's the head of the world's martial arts society, and if necessary, and in an emergency, he'll set up an army of 200 million people worldwide.
This guy? This guy looks like a sex doll. Is there a human being here? Like, the quality's so bad I can't even tell. Is this flesh? He can summon up an army of 200 million people, and he's the head of the world's martial arts committee?
Here on my right is Alexander Romanov, who is the Grandmaster of an Illuminati group that claims to have started the French, Russian, and American Revolution.
Wow!
Imagine if someone told you they lived out the plot of the movie Total Recall. That they thought they were living a regular life until one day they recovered memories of being a secret agent fighting an evil organization on Mars.
I'd say that's a fucking good man.
Telepath. He also remembers being in a facility that trained his shape-shifting abilities, in which I was also a participant of. He recalls
Can you still shapeshift?
Soldier and Kruger and had done training missions with zombies and vampires. Well, there was one kid.
There were zombies and vampires on
another female that
surely we could cure zombies,
and that was used for surveillance. I myself was a fool. Upon realizing this, I started to formulate a plan. I made up the story about being in the secret space program.
Oh, that's all amazing. Yeah. That's easy. That's what I You don't join the SSP, swine. You are chosen.
Get onto a platform.
Let's say you are the Google
I developed this criteria after thinking what's required to become an SSD whistleblower. Before World War II, the Nazis, who were interested in mysticism and alternative views, searched the planet for fantastical powers. They found Maria Horsek, a medium and leader of the Vril Society, who channeled Nordic and Draco reptilians behind graphic technology to a host. Draco reptilians.
I always do.
And by 1950, the Nazis were on Mars. The new Schwab funders didn't want to support because they considered everything.
I've been on board myself here in Base 1-1. Schwab funders. No, we don't Nazi Germany, that's just the space program, you know. Schwab funders. Bro, we don't use the E word when we're talking about the secret space program. They have unlocked stories. Dumbass. Evidence. What are you? Got a science believer? Idiot. This guy's lived for 330 years on Mars. Okay? You don't understand facts.
Yeah.
You don't have the lived experience.
It began an aggressive expansion out into the solar system, setting up.
So is the entire secret space program Nazis?
Capable of time travel, the space Germans also traveled back in time to settle on planets around the galaxy.
In their own lore, they made themselves Nazis? Why? So they're part of the new Schwabenlanders? Alright, give me 1 second. I'm actually go say goodnight to Tiana. And then maybe interrogate her to see if she's part of the secret space program and she's lying to me.
Offering services to help recover secret space program related memories. At the top of the list was James, and for $200 USD, guided meditation regression session.
Trying to tell you can go to content and I think they also got like the damn Nazi. Do you know who you might have been in a past life? If you're like the Black Samurai Yasuke. You were a samurai? Yeah. Okay, so I'll show you. Check this out. That's pretty dope. I was a gladiator. Oh, no, that's awesome.
Oh, wow. You can learn a lot from James.
What is that?
Imagine if he becomes a real believer.
Let's start with that.
All three was on the governing council of the ICC. So his clone is Kevin Spacey.
Wait, what? So wait, is that part of SSP lore? Kevin Spacey is like a figurehead of the secret space program? Oh, okay. Monarch is responsible for human trafficking, sex, mind control, experiments, and chemtrailing. I knew it. Fucking Kevin Spacey is behind it all. That son of a bitch. Evil bastard. Thought he got away with it. Expect us to be hot on his trail. Like Louis runs away from his plan. Kevin Spacey himself is a clone of Paul. Oh, nice. Thanks for repeating.
Today, we will be planting 20 million trees.
So a few days later, I traveled to Las Vegas and landed at around 12 p.m. after a 4-hour plane ride.
Man, he went all in for this video.
I'm here.
Traveled fucking 5,000 miles for a 45-minute interview.
This is gonna be an exercise in patience.
No, this is gonna be an eye-opening experience for everyone. We're all gonna leave here thinking we're super soldiers from space. Is he the only one here?
I spoke with the commander, the Arcturian commander, who I am connected to.
That's how we connect?
This concert, this Travis Scott concert, where 800 people were injected with these drone mosquitoes. You know, you see,
oh,
wow, they can go around.
So that's what happened. Jesus Christ. It is so hard to believe that people like that exist, man. Not only exist, but have other people that believe them.
Like, they have influence over other people. That's fucking wild. Think about that for a second. I've said this a million times. No matter how stupid you are or how outrageous your beliefs, you will always have an audience thanks to the internet. You will always find people that agree with you, support you, worship you, or just at the very least provide camaraderie in a positive echo chamber because you are connected to everyone at all times through Twitter and Facebook. So that guy who thinks at the Travis Scott concert 800 people were injected with, what was it, some super space mosquitoes or whatever, he's got 100 other people in his Facebook group that all think the same thing. Wild.
We got to go to How to Become a Jedi Warrior.
I'm excited about that.
That should be productive.
Unfortunately, when we showed up to the How to Become a Jedi Warrior workshop, no one was there, not even the speaker, so it was canceled.
We just got in here, we have no idea.
Oh man, what the fuck? Well, they're too busy having sex, I guess, on Mars.
Quantum spoon bending. Parentheses. Bring your own spoon. Close parentheses.
And the quantum spoon bending lesson was underwhelming since, instead of learning how to bend a spoon with our minds, we were instructed to physically do it with both hands.
What the fuck? It's real! Oh my god.
While walking around the venue, I noticed that James had sent me a text inviting me to his hotel room for an interview. Suddenly, a wave of anticipation and euphoria washed over me. This was it. Finally, after several months...
He ends up getting like Harvey Weinstein by James.
I ran back to the workshop room, found Night Dogs to film the interview, and to get to Jay's hotel room as soon as possible.
Night Dogs, go with him. Keep him safe. Oh my god.
Night Dogs was behind me, still trying to...
The super soldier's unpredictable.
By then, any nervous anticipation I felt leading up to this face-to-face sit-down had completely dissipated.
Dude, you just get to come in here and make some shit up. Have some fun.
The interview lasted 1 hour, and here's what happened.
Okay, so my name is Oki. So it started from before I was even born, where they genetically enhanced my DNA. And by the time I was 6, I was put into a special program run by Monarch. I was under direct tutelage of Paul Serene, Kevin Spacey. There was 12 children.
Oh my god. Luckily, James didn't pick up on that. He just got the lore wrong. Paul Serene is not the clone of Kevin Spacey, Ogie. Kevin Spacey is the clone of Paul Serene. Oh my god, the whole operation just went tits up. There's no way James didn't just... Oh my god, there's no way James didn't pick up on that. Oh my god. He blew it. He fucking blew it. SSP's on the Northern Man.
Myself pretty much they put MK Ultra programming and to break killing machines, and I was able to just look at a photo of a target and make the head explode. This kind of thing. That was I particularly liked
that sounds like Kevin Spacey's research.
I liked my 2 daggers. I had a foreman that I could take out there.
He's a rented assassin.
In my past life, I was yesterday Black Samurai. I had a clone.
Oh my god, that's one of James' core questions. Have any of your clones been changed into a... James makes it sound like he doesn't even know what the fuck up he is. If the clones are to die first, James, and then Kevin Spacey and Paul Serene would have to do a fusion dance in order to bring out the proper necromancy on Mars to revive them. Not be James, Jesus Christ. He's getting lost in his own sauce. He's not even following his He just said that, James. He killed 1,000 of them with his bare hands.
much as like kamikaze pilots. I heard black fired Time flew by, and I was struck by the effort.
The super soldier is many things, but a coward he is not. He will ask the hard-hitting question. He will go where no other space program super soldier. He actually fucking said that.
I was playing a role, and even though I created it, I was performing it, it was like a switch in my brain went off, and everything I said felt real.
That's 100% true. That's how it works.
Matter of fact,
that's why these communities exist.
Whistleblower testimony that they heard on
yeah.
Car. And one person even said that they tried the whole way through the video. So that's that.
Oh my god. Do that. God, like, to a certain extent, I feel bad. It's not like it's not particular secret. Like, in general, truly believe me. Like, it's hard to be separates itself from reality. It is sad to a certain level. It is really underrated for the work that flew up from Canada to Las Vegas to a secret space program. He was the #1 figure in secret space. A 330-year-old ass-beating super Goliath James. Today, it all is 37 years ago. There was actually more time spent building up this conclusion than there was in the entire Marvel story. And this is a story far more important than Marvel. This is the story of Michael Superbacker and the Air Umbrella. I've covered this story for the last 4 years. I've been trying to about this situation 4 years ago. Like it's out, there was a Kickstarter scam with the Air Umbrella, which probably was some kind of fucking Harry Potter level device where it's a umbrella that just shoots all the air out to deflect rain and keep you safe and dry like an invisible force. It was able to keep $100,000 out of gullible people's piggy banks, and one of those people was Michael Superbacker, our anime producer. When he didn't receive his Air Umbrella on the scheduled delivery date, he got a little upset. So he questioned where it was. Did it get lost in the mail? Did the mailman steal it perhaps? Did he use a replacement? Just asking questions, and when he became clear that it was a scam, he got very upset. Eventually, the Air Umbrella staff he basically just couldn't see himself and come and say, yeah, we're done with the project, you know, get the fuck out, fuck you guys. Michael Superbacker wasn't taking this. He stayed in the Kickstarter complaining for 7 years, demanding a fortune of legendary Air Umbrella Excalibur. And I even made an update to the story only 3 months ago, just letting you all know that Michael Superbacker is still out there, demanding that Air Umbrella arrive at his doorstep one day. And now I am happy to say, thanks to the help of sufficiently advanced talent, an incredible YouTuber, Michael Superbacker is finally in his Air Umbrella. Let me show you what's going on. So Alan hit me up a couple weeks ago about the Air Umbrella. He was inspired by the Michael Superbacker story, which we've been covering for the last, he apparently made his own Air Umbrella for Michael Superbacker saga. I haven't seen the video, so I didn't know it was coming, and I'm so fucking excited. I feel like Michael Superbacker's run actually receiving an Air Umbrella is just going to like fade away into dust. Like his time on this realm will fade because that was his last purpose, like the only thing angering him. No. For sure. Not a legendary. Very much so.
Whatever this thing is, this arrow shells is you from the rain.
Yeah, baby.
No, seriously, what the hell is this? It's a CAD model of a stick? How did 825 people fall to this? What is this guy doing? He's zip tying a stick onto another stick? Nothing is going on. What is this montage? No, you don't talk. I'm talking right now.
Is currently in the stage of research. Introduce of Sam and Moza.
Research D's campaign. I'm seeing a lot of them.
Yeah. That's the boy.
38 of them are Michael Superbacker. That means, on average, he has left a comment here every 10 days asking where his Arabella is for the last 7 years.
He has actually done that, so a little heads up for anyone unfamiliar with Michael Superbacker's story. The Air Umbrella was a Kickstarter gone wrong. It was a big scam, got $100,000. Michael Superbacker, along with others, were demanding their Air Umbrella, and they all try the same thing everyone that's going through the stages of denial try, which is invoking the Kickstarter code of we are owed a refund. And when that didn't work, Michael started treating this like his sailor's log. It became his diary. So he's written on the comment section of the Air Umbrella so much. Like, I've learned so much about Michael as a person just it's so good. It is one of the most interesting pieces of internet lore.
People get
If only he knew. True.
And Michael starts having doubts. It said a December delivery. It's January 9th and I haven't received my umbrella yet. Are they already sent out? Where the is my money?
There he is.
Pretty much the only person left actively leaving comments on the page.
Standing atop that pile of corpses.
Is it here? Is it here? He just looks at me with his sad face. Please send my product soon. Thank you.
I love Michael.
That brings us all the way to this year, 2021. 1 week ago, day 2,582. The search goes on. I want to make Michael Superbacker a real working Air Umbrella.
Yes, what a saint. Michael Superman, a force of nature so powerful that I'm glad.
We're doing this interview in a van.
I like to imagine it's this mysterious Air Umbrella vengeance.
The reason I'm calling you is I want to find Michael Superbacker here.
It's so fucking cool. I think it's like that last piece of his identity. Like, once he gets it, he will be whole.
I sent Michael an email, and I messaged him on YouTube. And I
did probably not.
For a period of months with no response. It's time to get serious. The Michael Superbacker YouTube channel has...
He hired a private eye.
He's been commenting on my channel.
Wait, what?
No.
Hold on, what? I didn't know that. This is so thorough now. He really went like full, like Sherlock Holmes on this case. Who does he like on YouTube? Audrey.
Are you serious?
I can find her. And using Audrey, I can get to the source.
Maybe they're like, I don't know about this.
He was the first comment on one of your videos. First, Happy New Year, Audrey.
That's like the shit.
That's a little wild.
Yeah.
Dedicated. Michael Superbacker won't reply to me, but he will reply to Audrey. What you mean, will?
This is genius. Fuck.
On October 4th, Audrey DM'd Michael Superbacker this message, and as of the publish of this video, he has yet to respond.
Man, what the fuck?
What? Michael Superbacker, wherever you are, whoever you are,
How did that not work?
I will find you, and I will give you an Air Umbrella. We're gonna crowdsource it. If you know someone, you might know someone. I know someone who might know Michael Superbacker. Show me. And Michael, if you did, leave a comment right here on this video. I'll finally send you your Air Umbrella.
So I tried so hard to find it because I'm pretty convinced Michael Superbacker did send me an email at some point, which I responded to and never got a response back from. I feel like maybe Michael Superbacker is a hostage, and he's only allowed internet access in like brief moments of recess. Like very sporadically over the last 7 years, he's been able to use the internet. and he spent the majority of that time commenting on the Air Umbrella post as maybe they're crying for help. Maybe if you went through all 230-day comments he's left and like take up the first letter of each comment over the 7 years, it like spells out his location, longitude, latitude, or something. But I'm almost certain, though I couldn't confirm it, that he did email me once. So I know he is like a living, human person, not like a clever bot. Not that that's helpful for the search, but I'm almost certain. Let us search. Didn't take long. He was probably the first comment on this video.
Most states in the world, what the Kickstarter promised to deliver.
That looks pretty good. It's a leaf blower. Oh yeah, okay. This is very well.
That's a brilliant idea.
Hey, Prime Jordan. Hope you like the robotic.
Right. There.
That's pretty. Well, that was pretty obvious. I don't know why I didn't speak of that.
On the mis-setting first, this is a dog like as light as it gets. It's like a gentle drizzle. Let's get back into it.
Well, I like to imagine Michael Superbacker really will use this. He'll walk around New York with this during the rain. Now, what if we double fisted it? What if you had two taped together in a bigger head? Hey, you said Ruby? Oh my god, this is actually a sign. This is a sign.
You, Michael.
Hey, you said gingerbread.
And then the rain turns back off. Past the final test. Real rain. Soon, that is, until we're picking up. I'm getting ready to go.
It seems to be working. We just need a bigger. It needs to be like an absolute bad.
That was bad as well.
This is so cute. His 7-year-long journey finally comes to an end. Oh my god. Michael, here's to you. I've no doubt he also set a Guinness World Record. No, this is the real Michael Superbacker I can ever tell. Yeah. Look at the merch, where is it? Not here. Gotta strike while the iron's hot. I say, yeah, let it fucking ride, Michael. He's trying to get his money back. Well, yeah, but now he got an arrow from it. It only took them 7 years, and then they changed manufacturers. Today's breakfast of champions that I'll be feasting on is some cereal with L's. I got the biblical smackdown laid on me by a YouTuber, and it's time to talk about it. This all started yesterday when I made the video, Our React to Streamers Bad People. This was a response video to a 14-page document posted by YouTuber Dark Viper AU. Today, Dark Viper made a response to that video, and it started a war, a bloody battle between good and evil, heaven and hell, reactors versus Dark Viper's community. And I wanted to wait to talk about it further so I can have a conversation directly with them. I've been getting just a ton of messages from this community, and a lot of it's really nasty, horrible shit, so I figured it'd just be better to get ahead of it and hopefully have that conversation with him later. So I'd like to go through his response and talk about it piece by piece, but before really getting into it, as I mentioned at the beginning, I took a bit of an L+ ratio here. There's a lot of things that I got wrong. I've never been afraid to admit that. I got like fucking 6 videos over the last 4 years where I just outright say, yep, this is what I got wrong, here's what it was. Almost seems like a humiliation fetish at this point, but of course I get things wrong. Everybody does. and I'm not afraid to admit it or die on a hill that is just outright incorrect. And Dark Viper points out things that I got wrong, for sure. But it wasn't this malicious misrepresentation of his document or his perspective that he hints that it might have been. Why would I even do that? As I mentioned, Dark Viper is a creator that I liked and respected. What the fuck would I gain from misrepresenting him? Someone that I actively like. It makes no fucking sense.
Moist Critical knows that his view is going to reach far more people than will ever actually read that document. He has free reign to misrepresent what's in it to 99.99999% of people. He didn't even have the courtesy to link the documents so people could fact check him.
Again, I wouldn't misrepresent his points on purpose because it's a guy that I like. And before he made this video, many people misunderstood him as well. It wasn't just me, it was on his own subreddit. And as someone who liked him musically as well, and I thought I understood his point, but I can see it, I didn't. Now on to the next point where he says I didn't even have the courtesy to link the document directly to the description. This right here is a lose-lose situation. The only way to win is not to play here, because if I did link it, I would get called an asshole for making it easy for people to go dogpile on him. Like, oh, look at Charlie being such a fucking douchebag to put the link right to the document, right to his tweet, where people could go fuck him up and be mean to him directly. Because I've had shit like that happen in the past, where I would talk about something, not a react video, just a full-blown response video to something, and just on actively I have no way to decide to think, but make it easier to have a link in the description directly to it. I felt it could enable people to go around them, which I never want to happen. Now, sometimes argue about this, saying like if I had directly linked it, people could have fact checked me on the video without having to go out of their way for it, which of course is a good point, but I didn't know what the best way of navigating this was, because by directly linking it, there's a good chance there'd be unreasonable assholes that aren't even there to read the document, they're just there to harass him or get mad at him without anything else going on. Unreasonable assholes. So I thought by just showing where the document is, letting people see where they can find the document if they want to fact check it themselves, would be the optimal play, but I can see here that this is not his preference, this is not the right way of approaching it, and now I understand.
He is so keen to poison you against this 14-page, meticulously argued document that he goes to the length of finding tweets out of context. He doesn't show the context. And it's just like, here's what the document says. It's 14 pages!
I think there's a section where he compares reactors to someone who would likely commit sexual abuse. And to say that I'm taking things out of context to poison the well is very disingenuous, because I didn't take it out of the whole context right here. Where the man pointed out there was a point that he would compare reactors to someone that would commit sexual abuse. And he argued with this person by saying that their behavior is similar to someone that would sexually abuse someone. And he literally uses that word, even though he says in his video he never said that.
Let's play a game. Let's see how many of these words are actually in this document. Sexual, no. How about abuse? We got report abuse up here. How about criminal? No. How about predator? No, not that either. How about rapist? No. It's almost like Charlie is making shit up and I don't understand why.
Well, none of those words are explicitly used in the document. He does allude to them in that section. It was pointed out by a fan that it's kind of fucked up to compare React streaming to something that even does understand that people that live this certain way are the very sexually abuse someone. And just to give full context so no one thinks I'm hiding anything, he does continue to argue with another fan who was also disappointed in the statement, and he defends this by saying it's a hyperbole, it's supposed to be an exaggerated scenario, he's not trying to make this like equal or anything. So at the very best, it's an extremely shitty analogy, and at worst, it's a genuinely disgusting thing to say about someone who is so like. So I really think it's pretty clear when you read this Twitter argument, as well as the hints that he dropped in that section of his document, that myself and members of his community would easily see this as him trying to compare reactors to sexual abuse, because that's how it comes across.
And what was really annoying is Moist Critical left that video up. His entire video that I corrected is wrong. As Moist will now admit, he left it up anyway. 1.3 million people did Moist Critical give false information to, and he did not give true facts. Did not take the video down. Did not submit it for traction. Did not give you the action information. No. He, in the original case, had a 10-minute video rambling about stuff that is completely untrue.
This is a really weird section of his video for me, and in his own words, he's using a I think it looks like I'm going to be meeting people That's not the case. You can easily start by just watching the video and reacting to and correcting my videos on how much you can make from short-form content. The information I presented wasn't wrong. The information was incomplete.
This crucial detail is missing from Charlie's video here when he talks about how much YouTubers make on short-form content.
The crucial detail he's talking about is one that he also admits he didn't know about for the longest time either. He has far more experience here, so then learned that a video that is over 30 seconds and not a hashtag short makes significantly more money than that's under 30 seconds and not a hashtag short. Something I and many others didn't know, so it was a great video. But that doesn't mean that all the information that he said is correct, because all of the information I provided was only was a hashtag short, and I did make other companies using this hashtag short wasn't making no money. And that's because the majority of the content on that huge Charles channel doesn't exceed 30 seconds. So all of it's in that lower bracket, and I didn't know that there was a distinction from 30 seconds below and 30 seconds above. He did. So that's why his video is even titled an add-on, not Charlie got everything wrong. He even made similar points to the ones I made, where you're not going to make a lot of money on hashtag shorts, and the only real way to make money on shorts is make money by making the content. I didn't realize that you didn't have to go to like that 5 or 8 minute mark or whatever. He knew that you could short something 30 seconds and still make enough money with it, which I didn't. So it is a huge piece of information that I missed, but its absence doesn't make everything else in that video invalid. I still show that shorts aren't great for making money. They could help you grow, which I mentioned and he mentioned. And the content that is sub 30 seconds and not short doesn't make you much money. So you should be striving for longer content. I just thought it needed to be the 8-minute mark or something. He knew that it didn't need to. So the points still coincide. It's just he had more information on it, and I don't know why in his response video he's using it as some kind of point to make me look like just an awful fucking person. Like, this guy's so okay with everything being wrong, he won't take this video down, even though I completely spread his fucking cheeks and spit in there with logic and facts, where I proved everything was wrong in my video. He didn't. His video is an add-on, as it is labeled in the title. At no point in that video is like, Charlie got everything super wrong. Don't listen to any of it, it's all trash. It's an add-on that corrects a misunderstanding I had of how the system works. And I have thoroughly complimented that video on stream because it was super insightful. The reason I haven't taken that video down is because it is still useful information for people.
So not only do I really heavily attack that idea that anyone can transform a 6-month work by pausing it every once in a while and going, I think that's funny. Here's an idea for your revolutionary concept. How about you watch the video first? And then once you've watched the video, you say, hey, I actually have nothing of interest to add here. I'm not going to make a video out of it. Or you might say, hey, I have something interesting to add. I'm going to take that individual part in the middle where I have something to add and make my own video about it.
Oh, that is a pretty revolutionary idea. You mean like the majority of the content I've ever fucking made? You know that I don't just do react shit. You know that. But you still portray me as that to your audience, as someone that is only ever reacting to full videos on stream, and portray me as someone that only sits there and says, ha, when you know that's just not the case. Now, we can argue on what's transformative and what's not, and that's also going to be an argument that needs to be had with the creator of the video that gets reacted to, because it's their content, you can't tell them what they should feel about it. However, I do fully concede that, sure, you can absolutely say there's no way of transforming a work that makes it wholly original if you're watching it in its entirety. I totally do understand that perspective, and now that Dark Viper has explained that perspective in this video, I understand it deeper now than I did from just reading the script. Which is why with this newfound understanding of this perspective, I will no longer be watching full YouTube videos on stream. I'd rather make suggestions for YouTube videos to watch, but not watch the whole thing on stream. I'd rather watch it, see if it's something I have anything to add to, and then turn it into perhaps a full video response, which is my normal content. Contrary to what Dark Viper kind of hints at, I'm not just a react streamer. It's a very small part of what I do. I do a lot of different things, and reacting to content on stream is a very small part of it. So from now on, YouTube nights on my Twitch streams, twitch.tv/moistcritical, a few extra inches on this. From now on, those are going to look like people giving suggestions as they always have, and we'll maybe check them out for a little bit to see if it's anything that I can add value to, and if not, we're done. If there is, then we're still done, because it's going to be a video that I will then watch the rest of on my own. If it is something that I can truly add something to and add more to for the content in order to branch off and talk more about it without showcasing it entire thing. It's worth noting that all the React videos on my channel, the React ones that he communicates, they don't show just the full video. They are still the parts that I am reacting with, making jokes about it or talking about it deeper. But I still do understand that that's still a large chunk of the video itself. So it is still pretty close to like almost the full runtime in some cases. So again, going forward, I won't just be rolling dice hoping I can add to whatever video gets recommended on YouTube night. I will be maybe checking them for a little bit, and then if it's something that I can add to, I'll look at the rest on my own and maybe make content out of as a response to it as opposed to a real-time reaction, which has always been the majority of my content anyway. I think what really helped me understand this perspective wasn't Dark Viper's video, it was actually JXC's. They made a great video recently just going over the entire React ecosystem, just going over everything from the perspective of someone that had their video reacted to by multiple people, myself included. It's actually the video of the Bizarre House walkthrough, the one that I mentioned was a very shameful moment for me where it's a video I really liked but didn't react hard to. I'd already seen it and I just basically compared it with my community without adding anything to it. And they were upset with that, which I totally do get. And they made a video going over that whole situation and really helped put it in perspective for me to understand things better. Dark Viper more focuses on dunking, which in some cases he has every right to because I got things wrong. But JXC really painted the whole picture that put it all like in a really good perspective for me to get. Now there's one thing I'd like to quickly tackle, and it's an important thing that I talked about in my video of Dark Viper's media share history. On streams, he used to sometimes have his community donate money to play clips from other creators' videos without their consent that Dark Viper would react to on stream while playing Grand Theft Auto on the side. He would then take those reaction streams and post them on YouTube, which made money off of it. And to me, that was similar to everything he was criticizing the other React streamers for. However, in the very opening parts of his document, he does lay out the groundwork for his definition of React streaming, what it means to be a reactor, how it all works. And by all of those definitions, the groundwork, that doesn't apply because it's not the full videos that's being shared. It is clips from the videos, still without consent and all of that, but it is still not exactly in the same ballpark. And I realize now that it was a mistake for me to put my own bias here where I believed that it still fit under the React streaming, but since I'm talking about his 14-page document, I needed to play by his definition of React streamers, which I do understand now was a mistake on my part because that does not fit into the same category that he was criticizing, which was defined and laid out in the opening parts of the document. He says that I didn't include this because I wanted to undercut his points, but it's just simply not the case.
Reactors can therefore only ever be the middlemen in these platforms, taking impressions from all other original content creators, giving a small amount back to other people. Reactors do not somehow manifest additional impressions. There is no free lunch in this industry. The impressions they give out are a portion of what they steal from other people.
So this is where the cracks in what I understood start to show, because when reading the script, the ideas that he's explaining here don't convey super well to me and many others that mentioned, not just me. So he's confused on how I ended up with this interpretation, even though this is how most people from what I saw in the comments and interpreted what he was saying. It was very hard to discern the real meaning before he came in here and provided context, but this is where things really fell apart in what I understood. What he's actually saying is the reactors occupy a lot of the impressions that are not infinite on the platform. And when those reactors are gone, those impressions will eventually make their way back onto the platform in other places now that the React content is gone. Not necessarily to small channels. I went into this document under the impression that the entire pillar of the argument was that without the React content, these smaller channels would be flourishing. All of those impressions that they're occupying in their absence would go to smaller channels specifically. And good channels specifically. Good by his definition, which we'll get to in a minute, which was different than the definition I had of good. But what he's actually saying is they just get distributed to other channels in general, which is absolutely true. The reason I went in here thinking it was all about small channels is because that's the way he framed it in his initial tweet, at least the way that I and many others understood it. He starts by saying all reactors are bad people, so I mean, that's poisoning the well, as he says, and they've stolen millions of dollars from actual creators and stopped smaller creators from having a career. So to me, going into this document, that says that, okay, so reactors have stopped small creators from having a career, and every point he makes is going to be about how without the reactors, those small creators may be doing better, specifically small creators. So this changed the way that I digested the information he was presenting. I guess subconsciously the way I kept putting it back was that the point he is making ultimately isn't the fact that obviously without this content more views are going elsewhere. It's without the content more views are going to small creators, like specifically to this. Because I went in here under the impression that this was about the small creators getting fucked by reactors. But I now understand thanks to this video that is not the overall point that he's making. He even says in this video that if every creator, not just React creator, but like if every big YouTuber was gone, all the other creators would be doing better, like the smaller channels. And he's right, because they occupy a lot of the market. You know, creators occupy big chunks of the market. So if those chunks are gone, those impressions could find their way to the smaller creators or just other places to do so. When I first read this document, I approached it with the mindset that he is trying to say that good content is guaranteed to get those impressions if that React content isn't there anymore to occupy the space, which I totally disagree with. He also would, I imagine, disagree with. No one is guaranteed those impressions. He says no one's guaranteed those impressions. He goes on to define his definition of good content, which was different than my definition of good content.
Admittedly, you have to have seen my other content to understand this, but when I say something is good, I mean in algorithmic sense. It appeals to the market, which I would have used clips to substantiate if you had let me make the video. It is very possible to make high-quality content that no one wants to watch, or to present it very poorly in regards to thumbnails and titles. But I consider thumbnails and titles to be a part of the package. Good content is that which can be picked up by the algorithm.
I didn't wait for his video to be made because his community had already started emailing me and sending me messages about being compared to a sexual abuser. So obviously I went to look at the document itself and respond to it because people kept emailing me about it from your community, telling me some nasty shit. So that's why I didn't wait and talked about it now. But you're right, had I waited, you would have been able to more accurately get across this point than just have some words on the page. His definition of good is drastically different than mine. For me, as I said in my video, good content, I thought high quality production, a lot of work goes into a very researched topic, buttoned up, just a general overall good piece of content from a production, storytelling, whatever standpoint. His definition is all of that plus just being algorithmically viable. Something that appeals to a large audience, something that can be picked up and spread around, good thumbnail, good everything. That is not how I worked under the impression of good content. He also states that there's a multitude of reasons why that high-quality production that I consider good content may never go into there. He says that in his definition, good content that does all of these things right, that can get picked up by the algorithm, does thumbnail perfectly, all of that, will eventually get exposure. And I am inclined to agree with that. Ludwig, in his video, also did prove that to a certain extent as well. If you have a deep understanding of what makes content algorithmically viable and make it something that can be picked up, you stand a good chance of naturally getting exposure without someone reacting to the content. That is a point that I do agree with him on. But it is not something that I can pick up from the pages here because the good content wasn't defined for me. So I imposed my own definition of it, which doesn't work here because no content is guaranteed impressions. Even content that is algorithmically viable, is good content by his definitions, is still not guaranteed impressions either, but it stands a much better chance of naturally getting that exposure. Again, it was just me not knowing what his definition of good content was that he was working under.
Nowhere in this document do I use small creators anywhere. Anywhere! The impressions logically would go to other people. If a person uses React content on Twitch to keep people from going to YouTube, that is the same thing. I'm not talking about YouTube specifically, Twitch specifically, TikTok specifically, Instagram specifically, the entire online creator marketplace.
Which is something I didn't pick up on at all. He's right. He did discriminate. It wasn't just about YouTube, and it wasn't just about small creators, because how I interpreted his initial tweet, because he's talking about and stop thousands of creators from having a career, to me that says small creators, because I mean, Dark Viper is not going to lose his career because there's an influx of React content somewhere on the site. So to me, the only people that that's referring to are going to be the small creators that might be affected by not being able to get in on those eyeballs somehow. So I interpreted it incorrectly then if it's not about small creators, which it clearly isn't. And the entire point isn't just about YouTube, which I thought it was. He's talking about the broader creator sphere, which was lost on me because I went in there with the incorrect perceived notion of what the actual full subject was and the scope of it. I focused too closely on what I thought his point was based on an extremely hostile opening statement on Twitter, as well as some rants in the comment section with his community. So I went in there incorrectly digesting the information, which he's right, would have been an issue solved had I waited for the video. But again, why put these names in the script out there? You knew that your community would probably reach out to the people on there and tell them some crazy shit and say some horrible things, which is what got my attention to look at the document in the first place, and it seemed like something I needed to talk about right now because of how many people were bringing it to my attention, which I see was a mistake, and I should have waited for the video because then I would have actually understood past what was on this page. There's still a ton left in his video, but the point is still the same, that I misunderstood from the very get-go, and it changed my perspective of what he was actually saying. As he reiterated multiple times throughout the next parts, the point wasn't that it's going to small creators, or that it's only about small creators, or that all of the impressions stay on YouTube. It's the entire creator atmosphere where, without React content specifically, those impressions go to somebody else, which could cause the birth of the next big original content creator, which is a fact that I do agree with. But that's, again, as he mentions, the same with everyone. If every big content creator right now disappeared, all of those impressions that are now homeless, out in the cold, the rain, shitting their diapers or whatever, they now have to go to somebody else. They're already on that platform. The impressions will be distributed to somebody, and it will be other creators that now have all that vacancy to occupy. And he's right. But when I came into this document from that first tweet, and I guess maybe I was also going in there already hostile from the emails I received in the comparison to the sexual abuse thing, I went in there with a distorted view. And to me, everything I tried to spin back to him talking about how it's guaranteed to help small content creators making good content, which, as he reiterates multiple times, is not what the goal of the post or the video was. So I did misunderstand it, of course. But what I really don't appreciate even still is that comparison, that analogy that he defends so heavily about sexual abuse and React streamers. Even if I wasn't a React streamer, if I had never done it in my life, I would still take great issue with someone making a comparison like that. It's fucked up, and rightfully deserves to be called out. I don't think it's a defensible position to have. He's in the right to dunk on me for the other things that I did misunderstand. He's even making my dog upset right now with that comparison. We got one of her toys stuck under the TV, so I had to fish it out for her. But the point I'm making, the comparison of React streamers to someone likely to commit sexual abuse that he has said, it's hyperbole, or in this video he called it just like an analogy to compare the things, is still fucked up.
My point was, consent matters, and the idea of asking consent after you've already done the thing is clearly not good. That is not how consent works. And I made flippant offhand examples. Like, I didn't even say it explicitly. My exact words were, at the very end, to highlight the absurdity of that position. If you need a reactor at a party, I should just cover your mouth or outright tell them you don't want them to fuck you. Because they seem keen to take a person's silence for consent.
Again, you could explicitly say it in your Twitter argument. It is still a shit analogy. It's not an okay comparison to make. Imagine an actual victim of sexual abuse reading that and having it trivialized to something like React streaming. Like, oh, these two are now comparable. It's fucked up. And you got that response on Twitter as well, and you know that it's a bad position to take, and I wish you would just let it go and just say, yes, I got a little too heated and said something stupid. Well, yes, the issue of consenting to having your video reacted to is an important one. It's not okay to somehow use that to put these two on the same playing field almost, where sexual abuse and React streaming can be in the same sentence. It's not okay to do that. Yes, again, I do agree that getting permission to watch something on stream is important, which is why, going forward, even when given permission, I will not be watching the entire thing on stream anyway. I'm not changing my stance on that, but absolutely, I took a peanut butter and LE sandwich on a lot of what I thought he was saying, because I got it wrong. I really did, and he was right to defend it as he did in this video.
Wait a second. This is just React content. And the last video I watched was just him repeating stuff he'd seen on Twitter and with a few dick jokes. Why am I watching this? There has to be better content out there than this. If you read some of the comments under my original community post, many people had the same view. You were once upon a time a decent content creator. You've become rich and lazy.
This has nothing to do with his points at all. It's more of just an ad hominem thing, but it is something I do want to talk about because it's super weird to me when people say I was once upon a time a decent content creator, but I'm lazy now. My content pre-2016, I would sit down for 10 minutes, play a game, and just make a checklist mentally, and I've talked about this, where I'd say cock at least 3 times, cum, titties, and nipples. That was every piece of content I made from fucking 2010 to like 2016. And then I started branching into other forms of content that I just have a lot more fun doing and make me significantly happier. I very rarely mention nipples. I can rarely even think of a time I've even mentioned it in the last couple of months or years, honestly. And I don't make a ton of dick jokes. I don't just sit down for 10 minutes, one take playing a shitty game, and just go through my checklist of, you gotta be shitting on my ass shitter, and I'm pissing on my dick pisser. You know, like I'm putting significantly more into these videos, and I'm doing so many other things. Just being fully transparent with the mask off, this is something that's always hurt me over the last few years, where people say that my glory days were back then, like the 2010 to 2015 content, and I was fucking miserable making it. It was literally a mental checklist of mentioning penis and common titties. I don't think any of it was really all that great, and I'd always say like XD random shit. Whoa, look at this, I'm going so fast, it'll put titties on a cactus. Oh man, you gotta be rubbing my ass cheek with 5 bricks, but not 6, because 6 bricks is the shits. Like, none of that, I really think, is like good stuff. But people always reference it like, that's when Charlie was at his best, he was so fucking happy doing it, it was great. And I don't get it, because now I'm doing so many different things, and I'm not just a one-trick pony mentioning nipples and cock. Of course, I'll still talk about penis sometime because wiener is enjoyable to joke about from time to time, but it's not every video and it's not every joke. I do so many different things besides just play shitty video games. Like music videos, I've been very passionate about. A full fucking comic series we've been working super hard on over the last almost 2 years now. Doing big scale productions like our own Squid Game, or hosting our own professional go-karting race on a legitimate indie track. Or making a potato cannon from scratch and firing a potato through a tennis racket to create french fries on the other end, like Ed Nettie. Training with an ungodly specimen of masculinity and martial arts, Dale from Detroit Urban Survival Training, when he came out and got goofy with us, started an entire esports organization that went started an entire organization, the media group, that is aimed at helping creators not get fucked by Indians and sponsors and shit, bringing in deals and helping them with their channels, like when Nuts wasn't getting paid by YouTube, getting that situation going, being in a position to help creators that I really have always wanted to be in, making all kinds of shit content, I'm so proud of, and still, people just keep referencing like 2010 to 2015 Charlie as best news at his best, playing shitty games, doing the absolute bare minimum. That was the laziest time of my life. It took me 10 minutes to make one video. Now I'm like 10 weeks on something. I spend so much time creating content that I really make me happy. And then, of course, things that are out there all have to have where it is. And yeah, it's like I've mentioned multiple times, it is effortless stuff, and it's stuff that I have fun creating. Now I understand that it's not like the best form of content for everyone. So I'm going to change that and make it more the response content that I've always done, which is more like specific points that I want to talk about and add value to the content and not just the entire piece itself. If you scroll through my channel right now, you would see so much different content, so many different things. That's not just response, gaming, or podcast, voice meter. There's so much there. So much shit. And it's all things that I'm much happier making and I'm having a lot of fun doing. So when someone like Dark Viper, who really only does one thing, which is play GTA, talk about GTA, speedrun GTA, and he's good at it, don't get me wrong, like I said, I enjoy him, but all he really does is commit to one thing, one area, and then rant. That's it. You're not some beacon of incredible creativity, man. You live in one single bubble, the rock star bosom that you continue to suckle on, and then still have the audacity to say shit like, I'm only a React streamer. All Voice Critical is a React streamer now. He doesn't do anything else. It fucking sucks. And yeah, it absolutely does hurt. You mentioned many times throughout your streams, at least in the past from what I've watched, how like actually miserable you are. Like you are pretty much committed 100% to the grind. And really, there's nothing wrong with the grind like that. But I would argue you'd be a lot happier if you did more than just obsessively focus on one area. I'm sure you and your community remember the entire unnamed drama where, to bring everyone up to speed on the lore, Dark Viper was going for an incredible record and he was beaten to it by someone named Unnamed, and in response, Dark Viper really had a rough go of it. He kind of had a bit of a meltdown and it was a big disaster in the whole Dark Viper anime arc. It was a very dark time for the community and I was there for it. I saw all of it, but I still supported Dark Viper as a person. I still thought his content was good. I still enjoyed like watching and hearing from him. But for you to go out and call these people just this, that's all they are, and you can spit on them. You're so much better because all you are is the GTA ranting guy, and that's a lot better. It's just so fucking silly. I really think it is. So, yeah, I went on a bit of a rant about this because this is something that I've been wanting to talk about a little bit more. Because this perspective is something that always fucking hurts. It really does. People prefer just one thing, and one thing only. Dance monkey, Charlie, play bad games, nothing else. That's when he was at his best. And it fucking hurts because I didn't like doing that exclusively. What I'm doing now is so many different things. And for Dark Viper to keep portraying me as just one person, one guy doing this one thing, fucking sucks. So yeah, again, he had every right to dunk on me for the things I got wrong. Overall, I think this has been a pretty eye-opening experience, and I feel like I've learned a lot. Not all from Dark Viper. I think JXC did a really great job with it, to be honest. But yeah, it's something that I definitely wanted to talk about. That's it. So yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's live video recorded episode of the official podcast. We're all together.
Woo!
Something we've never fucking done before.
Very exciting. We got to ruin my poker table for it.
Looks good though. I feel like a bomb.
Yeah, it honestly does look like bond builders gathering around like poolside with like switchers and shit around it while they come up with a plan for Mr. Bond.
Since we look underwater on the film.
Oh yeah, don't call attention to it. Maybe you'll notice.
Yeah, you know. This is the internet. Everyone knows the first VCR effect. Oh, that'd be cool.
Make it look like a bootleg 80s Bond movie. That'd be sound. The guy who just stares at the screen talking to us.
I like it because it replicates when we're recording our own audio and can't see each other.
Staring blankly at the computer screen.
And it makes you at home feel like you're part of this.
Yeah, that's true. I don't usually do anything. I literally sit there staring at the Discord.
I open tabs in Firefox. Like every time. Yeah. Like I open a tab, I go to a website. Is that me doing something with my hands? Nice to meet you.
We're not going in Jack order.
No, start with Jackson. Yeah.
Well, Kaya got here first. If we want to tell the whole experience, when we start with Kaya.
That makes sense. Well, you see, I did my laundry, but I didn't have enough time to dry because that was the one day that Germany decided to have just cold, rainy weather. So when I put my clothes in my luggage, they were all damp. And I knew the moment I landed, it's gonna smell like ass if I even get to land here. So I'm on the plane. I don't feel like telling them that.
You told this story. The amount of times he's told this fucking story. It's like the Boardwalk Burgers joke. I know. Tampa.
But it's pivotal to my life now. It's actually making me afraid of flying now. Yeah.
Tell the story. He's on the team.
Tell the story.
It's not an exciting story. So I've learned a lot of times in my life that this is the content that actually taught something good to me. So I was on the plane and there's turbulence. This is the 10-hour flight or 10-11 something-hour flight from Frankfurt to Tampa. And there's turbulence. And these fucking planes, how much does a plane cost to build?
$500 million.
You looked that up?
No, he just threw it out there.
No. Dreamliners cost about $550 million, and those are the most recent model.
It could cost $2 billion. Okay, when turbulence hit that piece of shit, it'll still rattle the whole cabin. I don't know why. Like, imagine if you were in a house and somebody sneezes, Charlie, and your whole table just vibrates. You go like, who the fuck made this table?
Why'd you single me out? I've been on planes. Yeah, Charlie.
No, I'm just
Fucking idiot. You don't know what people sneezing sounds like.
I don't know. I just assume you've never been flown.
I've never flown before. Have you?
Recently, there's been a wave of corporate hate, with small businesses closing down all across the country, and with headlines talking about how the rich are getting richer during this pandemic. Online, things like the Grubhub ad have been made the internet's laughingstock for the past couple of weeks, and for good reason. This is a pretty terrible advertisement from the consumer's point of view. The music is ear-grating, the characters writhe around in unsettling ways, the attempts at humor are pathetic, and when I first watched it, by the time it was over, I barely even understood what they were trying to sell me. A vast majority of the ad is taken up with characters dancing with food, providing next to no information about their service or their perks in the little time they have. Like many ads, it's colorful, brain-rotting nonsense. But from the company's point of view, this ad did exceptionally well, because it cemented itself as a meme, spreading the Grubhub name everywhere, which leads some to wonder whether it was made bad on purpose for this very reason. I have my doubts. There's nothing in this ad that jumps out to me as uniquely bad. The premise has been done over and over. The art style they use is the safe kind of squishy 3D you've seen countless times. It's actually kind of generic.
This is a video I've debated making for the last week or so. For the first time in the 15 years I've been on YouTube, it's a video that I've actually been afraid to make because it's a dangerous topic. It's touchy. It's anime. And anime fans can get wild. They always say war is hell, but I think war is child's play compared to an argument with a weeb. I also recently learned about antimatter, and it's the only thing in the universe that releases 100% of its energy in like this devastating explosion. And that's also wrong, because weebs do that too when they find out that you don't like their favorite waifu. The point I'm making is, things can get very ugly when you criticize or talk about anime negatively. Expect an unholy, diabolical meltdown on Twitter attacking you for weeks for it. I still, to this day, have not heard the end of how wrong I am for not liking JoJo's Part 3 and 4 as much as I like Parts 1 and 2. And I mentioned that a single time in a video over a year ago. So let that shit sink in. For what it's worth, I just finished Part 5, that shit slapped. Part 5 was great. So, let's get to what I want to talk about today. The main thing that I just dislike about anime. I'm sure all of you know by now, but I watch a lot of anime. You could probably guess that just by taking a single glance at me. If I walk by you in public, you would probably assume that I watched anime just by the way I look. I stared too long into the abyss of anime, and it stared back into me. I even bought a body pillow at one point, so, God bless. But the thing is, no matter how much anime I watch, there is one thing that always makes me uncomfortable with how common it is in the medium. And you probably already know what I'm going to bring up. It's anime's fixation on making all of the characters kids or very kid-like for no reason. Now, I'm not specifically talking about lollies. I'm sure you know what lollies are. If you don't, hey, all power to you. Your innocence is intact. But I'll go ahead and ruin Christmas for you. Lollies are an anime where they have a character that looks like a child, but is actually a 4,000-year-old dragon cum vampire who's highly sexualized but looks like a child. They're called lollies. They're not actually children because in the show they're supposed to be much older, but they look like kids, and it's pretty weird. That shit's always going to be weird to me, but it's not even exactly what I'm focusing on here. I'm talking about in the shows where they just actually outright make them children. For example, Tokyo Revengers. It's a show I really like. It's a show I moist metered recently. The first season wrapped up. I gave it like a 90%. I thought the show was fantastic. But in the show, all of the characters are middle schoolers. And it does nothing for the plot because they're middle schoolers, but you never see their parents. Their schools don't have any effect on the plot at all. Sometimes they'll be in school, but they immediately leave, so it's not like integral to the plot at all. Most of the time they just don't go, and that's not even a plot point, like, oh, I'm skipping school, I'm fucking dope and breaking rules, I'm a bad boy. It is literally them just middle schoolers, but they're basically just adults anyway. They have motorcycles that they ride around, they get in gang fights and shit like that. So the question becomes, why make them middle schoolers? Why keep driving home this idea that these characters are 14 and 15? It just makes it really weird when they do adult shit, like one of the girls trying to fuck one of the guys, and she's in like her bra and panties about to have sex. It's weird because they've drilled into you that these are all middle schoolers around here. but they didn't need to be. These could have very easily just been adults. If you took a tally of every single protagonist across every anime ever made, I'd wager about 85% of all main characters in anime are 15 years old. That is the most common age of every character of every major anime, it feels like. But it never plays a role in anything. Them being kids. You know, it's not like that's ever an actual point in these shows. Like, oh, fuck, I can't go to this gang fight because I have to go do my algebra homework. Otherwise, my parents are going to spank me, and Dad's going to bring out the belt and take away my PlayStation. The characters being children is always just so useless because they could have easily just been adults and it wouldn't have taken away from anything. It's just weird. I don't really get it. And what really prompted me to make this video, or make me want to make this video over the last week or so, is I'm watching a currently airing anime called Platinum End, and it's dog shit. It is an actual pair of bull nuts. It's terrible. But I'm watching it because it's made by the creator of Death Note, so I at least gave it a chance. I'm going to finish it just because I've already watched so much of it, but it's not good. But one thing that really drove home this idea of what is the point of making the characters kids is there's spoilers coming up, I guess, but I don't watch it, so I wouldn't really worry about spoilers. I'm doing you a favor, if anything. One of the main bad guys is a kid. He's a middle schooler, and he has the ability to control the minds, basically, of anyone he shoots with an arrow, and he uses the arrow on a middle school girl. And she gets shot with this love arrow, and what she does is she just starts fucking other middle school girls. And they show her, like, almost fully nude, making out with middle school girls, about to fuck them, finger blast them, go wild. It shows you that in the show. And it's super weird because they keep driving home this idea constantly that that's a middle schooler. She is 13, 14, whatever. Even in the show, they call her the middle school serial killer because she's a middle schooler, and after she fucks them, she kills them. It's just creepy because they are establishing that this is a child that we almost watch have sex with another child in the show. Now, of course, it's all cartoons. So I can't use the C word here when talking about anime. People get very upset. It is a 2D animation. I understand they're not real kids or anything, but that doesn't make it any less creepy. It could have just easily been avoided if these were adults, because they could have been. Again, in Platinum End, the school doesn't have any effect at all. The only thing the school has done is establish that the main character has been bullied. But he could have also just been an adult who had been bullied the entire life. I don't think there's been a single scene in this entire show that has been at the school, other than in the very front fighting in the background. So them being in school is useless because it is never a part of the actual show. Them being 14 and 15. They could just be adults, and it would be weird. You could have adult characters instead of kids doing these adult things, these sexual things. I'm not saying every single anime has to be like 40-year-old grizzled war veterans characters or anything, but there's a lot of shows where them being kids is just a completely useless plot point, and because it doesn't actually play a role in the plot. Them being kids doesn't matter, like the two examples I just gave you. But then there are shows where it does matter that they're kids. Something like Assassination Classroom, right? They are kids in class. They're at school. The majority of that show takes place in a school setting. So obviously there's still a lot of shows where them being kids is actually important to the story and couldn't work with them being older. So I'm not saying everything in anime needs to be adults only. That's just called hentai, I suppose. I'm just saying there's a lot of shows where the characters are kids just because they wanted to make them children for no reason, but then they still want them to like fucking things, which makes it really uncomfortable to watch. Because they could have just made them adults. I've said that like 20 times by now, but there are really just so many shows where I'll sit there and watch it and I'm like, damn, this is a good show. And then it's like, but why are they kids? What was the point? What did that add to this? I just don't really get it. And that's just my main thing I don't like about anime. It's not like I'm over here, slapping a Bible and saying we gotta ban anime because think of the kids or whatever. But it is weird. Like, it is just kind of embarrassing. But yeah, I just wanted to toss this out there. You know, it's not like I'm canceling my Crunchyroll subscription. I'm burning my manga and destroying my anime Blu-rays or anything like that. I'm still gonna keep watching anime. The fucking Jujutsu Kaisen movie is one of my most anticipated movies that I can even think of. I'm super hyped for that. I just wanted to at least put this out there. It's just because I've been thinking about it since I've been watching that garbage Platinum End. And I mentioned it on stream once, so I figured might as well make a video talking about it. That's about it. So yeah. If you're a fan of the Watch Dogs video game franchise, then I am your boogeyman. I am your Dr. Doom, the universal threat. I am the man who ruined Watch Dogs for the entire world, at least according to one email. So I got this email a couple days ago, and I just wanted to talk about it and bring up a bigger point that stems from an email like this. So to bring everyone up to speed here and fill you in on the lore, I made a voice meter for the newest Watch Dogs game, Watch Dogs Legion, and spoiler alert, I fucking hated it. I found it to be one of the most boring AAA games I've played in recent memory. The only positive thing I could say about the game is I think it would be great for people with insomnia to help them finally get some sleep. I could also see it as maybe a form of punishment if you're trying to teach your kids a lesson. You could sit them down and make them play an hour of Watch Dogs, and then they'll probably eat their vegetables and stop disobeying you as a parent. The game's just not very good. It's not fun. Playing Watch Dogs Legion is like eating styrofoam. I'd rather sit in front of my washing machine and watch the clothes go around for an hour than play an hour of that game. Now, all this being said, I got an email from a very disgruntled fan saying that I single-handedly ruined the entire franchise and no more of the games will ever be made now because of my voice meter on the game. And first of all, I'm flattered that they think I have that much power. And second of all, if that is the case, then great. I should be hailed as a hero, so no more Watch Dogs games can plague gamers. That shit is boring. It's bad. So let's get to the email. So the subject. Why you had to ruin Watch Dogs Legion? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's pretty aggressive, but it's straight to the point. I knew exactly what I was getting in when I clicked on this email. Thanks to your awful Watch Dogs Legion review, absolutely nobody will buy this game. You're welcome. I bet it makes you so happy that you can ruin good things. Well, let's not get carried away here. I'm not going to say this person's name, but they're getting a little rambunctious, all right? They're hitting me with a bit of a razzle-dazzle here. There is nothing good about Watch Dogs Legion. Let's all get on the same page there, okay? I didn't ruin a good thing. I just talked shit about a bad thing, is what happened. Now, what I find interesting is they view the Moist Meter as the final boss of video game reviews, which is great. I love to hear it, but I don't know why all of a sudden they think my review of Watch Dogs has made everybody stop playing video games that I don't like. Keep in mind, a review is an opinion. It's not a fact. And trust me, I know in this day and age, opinions can be scary because someone might have a different opinion than you, and that's terrifying. That's that kind of shit that keeps you up at night right there. But I think it is important to hear other opinions, even on something you like. Even if it's someone that doesn't share the same opinion, it might be worth hearing. But hey, I don't know. I'm not your fucking dad. You know, if you don't want to hear the same opinion, just lock yourself in Twitter echo chambers. That's entirely within your right. All I was doing was giving my opinion of a game I felt to be very stinky, and I was letting people know that much. How I felt about it, because that's what the Moist Meter is. It's me bending over and showing you my asshole and giving you my thoughts on games and movies. Now let's go ahead and get back to the novella. Everyone on YouTube, including Jax Spadici, were playing it and having fun. Once you posted your awful review, everyone stopped. Well, far be it from me to question this bulletproof logic here, but what if they stopped because they also realized how boring the game was? I put a good 6 hours or something into that fucking game, and that was more than I could stomach. Perhaps all the other YouTubers reached their limit. Human beings aren't perfect. We can't tolerate things as boring as Watch Dogs Legion for that long. So I think if I had to speculate, come up with a theory, a hypothesis, I would wager that the YouTubers stopped playing it because nobody wanted to watch it and they hated playing it because it was so fucking boring. It's just a guess, but I do like their thought process where everyone on YouTube only plays and enjoys the things that I play and enjoy. So if other YouTubers are playing something that I don't like, as soon as they realize that I don't like it, they all just like collectively stop, like, oh fuck, well, Charlie doesn't like it, well then I shouldn't like it. I think that's kind of cute. Now it continues. How can you give it a worse score than Marvel's Avengers? Well, that is actually a good point. Now they're making a good point. Marvel's Avengers is extraordinarily boring. Yes, that is an inarguable point. That is watertight. But Watch Dogs Legion crosses this threshold, this event horizon of boredom to a level I didn't even think AAA games could get to anymore. This game is literally like a Dementor from Harry Potter, just sucking the fun out of all the players, and all that's left is this husk sitting in front of it, mindlessly playing and having no fun. The Avengers game, while very boring, isn't quite to that level of misery, which is why it has a higher score than Watch Dogs, so I just wanted to clear the air on that. And now we reach the thrilling conclusion. It doesn't even make sense. Thank you so much, and that's in quotation marks for some reason, I don't really know why. Thank you so much for ruining one of my favorite franchise, because thanks to you, they will never make Watch Dogs 4. That is music to my ears. If they never make Watch Dogs 4, I'm happy. That's great. And I don't think it would be because of me. You see, contrary to what they may believe, my opinion doesn't hold very much weight or sway in the video game industry or just the bigger picture overall of entertainment industry. It's just one man's opinion. That's all it is. But for some reason, the internet has really bastardized what an opinion means. An opinion that differs from your own now is an attack on you personally, as illustrated with this email here. It's very weird. When people like something and hear someone doesn't like it, they then hate that person for it. And they think because of that one person's negative opinion of the game, everyone's now going to hate the game and everyone is now against them. It's strange and it's sad. But also, they said I ruined the franchise for them. Why? Just because I didn't like it, that I don't like. It's not illegal. I'm not going to, try and throw you in jail for it. It's totally fine for people to like things I don't, and vice versa. Like things you don't. There's nothing wrong with that. It's natural. That's the way things should be. Your opinion on something shouldn't change with what other people's opinion on it are. You should be able to form your own opinion and stick to it regardless of what other people think. For example, I love The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. The Mummy Returns is notorious for the worst CGI in American cinema history with its conclusion with Dwayne The Rock Johnson coming out as the Scorpion King. In spite of that, or despite that, I still love it. I still absolutely love that movie. It's my second favorite movie, right behind the first Mummy being my favorite movie. It doesn't matter what other people's opinions are. If you like something, stay liking it. In summation, I didn't ruin the Watch Dogs Legion. Or maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just talking out of my asshole now. Maybe at the Ubisoft headquarters right now, they were planning Watch Dogs 4, but once I dropped my voice meter, they just set fire to the documents. That's super possible, I guess. Maybe. Who knows? But anyway, that's about it. So yeah. Today I wanted to tell a story I recently told on stream about the time I got scammed for all of the money I had at the time. I must have been 18, maybe 19. I was definitely still a virgin when this happened. Not that that's pertinent to the story, but just a little bit of lore there, a little side note. And my friend Andrew had come to visit me so we could party at my university. But unfortunately, when he came up, there were no parties. And if there were, we certainly weren't invited. The lacrosse bros did not want the gamer nerds coming in. So I've got my buddy Andrew over, and he's just eating fucking Reese's cups as we're doing nothing except playing like Tekken Tag Tournament 2. And then eventually we decided to find something else to do. And carnival that had rolled into town. It was like one of those pop-up shop carnivals where they transport everything in on like a dilapidated school bus. So they scooted in and they set up shop nearby and we're like, well, it was like doing nothing except playing like Tekken Tag Tournament 2. And then eventually we decided to find something else to do and we found a carnival that had rolled into town. It was like one of those pop-up shop carnivals where they transport everything in on like a dilapidated school bus. So they scooted in and they set up shop nearby and we're like, well, fuck it, we're not doing anything else. Let's go to this carnival. And I swear to God, when we got there, it looked like something out of Courage the Cowardly Dog. This place looked haunted. And we were basically like the only customers there. There was like a few children, or at least the spirits of children that were there, like hanging out. And they were riding the only ride at this carnival, which was one of those spinning rides. But it was like this giant, horrifying metal contraption that just looked like a medieval torture device. It looked like a fucking transformer that had gotten hit with a stick of dynamite. It looked so rusted and gross. I have no doubt that was just a tetanus disaster waiting to happen. I don't even know if those kids are even alive anymore if they rode that fucking thing. But that's about all they had. They had that one ride and then a ton of shady carnival games. Not like the fun, goofy ones that you can actually win, like the basketball one or shooting water into a target. They had only the rigged ones that you can't win under any circumstances. So this was less of a carnival that came in and more of just like a rolling scam that travels. But of course, I'm 18, 19 years old at the time. I'm a virgin, so all I'm really thinking about is titties and how I'm not seeing them. So, I kind of disregard that, and I'm going around with Andrew, and we're playing a few of the games. Of course, we're not winning anything, not even like those tiny stuffed animals. We're getting nothing. The closest thing we're getting to a prize is stepping on a used condom in the parking lot. Like, there's just really nothing that we're accomplishing. We're just wasting money and wasting time. To reiterate the location, it was literally in a parking lot in between two condemned buildings. That was the location. This fucking barren wasteland looked like something out of the Fallout universe. It would have been less gross to just wander through catacombs, because at least then we wouldn't have been losing money doing it. But I came to this with like $200 in my wallet or something like that, and we were playing through these games, not winning, and I'd gone down like 50 or 60 bucks. I don't remember exactly what. It was a lot. We were spending a lot of time just indulging in this filthy sin. Now, before I get to like the actual year when I lost all my money and how this all, I want to drive home a point. I'm not exactly like a super gullible person, I don't think. I like to imagine like I'm a grizzly, chiseled man with hair on my sack, because as an avid RuneScape player, I know how to recognize a scam. I started playing RuneScape in 2005, and I got used like a fleshlight on that game. I was falling for a lot of scams. I once gave my fucking password away to a guy who said that he didn't think my password was cool. So to prove him wrong, I just gave him my password in order to impress him. And then I lost my account to him. Like, I was scammed a lot. And it was an invaluable lesson it taught me. When someone's trying to take advantage of me, how to recognize a scammer, and just like all of these red flags that should go off in people's heads when they're faced with a scam. I think every child should be scammed at some point. Teach them a valuable lesson. They don't need to lose their house or anything, or like get wrapped up with a crypto gambling scam or whatever. But maybe just like a small scale scam for candy. Teach them a little something. I always believed that the lessons I learned in RuneScape through getting scammed would be very helpful, and so far they have been. But on that day, nothing could have prepared me for the scam that I was going to encounter at that godforsaken carnival. The game was the toss a ball off a backboard, make it land in a bucket, and you win one of the jumbo prizes, like the fucking Wumbo-sized unicorns and bears and shit. So for those that don't know, the game is a wooden backboard. It's a big circle, and it's at an angle, slanted this way. Underneath it is a basket that's poking out just enough for a ball to bounce off the backboard and fall in the basket. And you only have to do it one time, and you win the biggest prize. So this carnival's not very big, obviously. Andrew and I had passed this a few times, and it wasn't like there was some heavenly glow on it, like, this is the game for me, or this is the one I want to play. But as we passed it for like the third or fourth time, the dude finally calls over. He's like, you guys are just wandering around. Come over here. Let's just like talk and hang out. And, we weren't doing anything, so we'll come flirt with this guy, whatever. And he's just so charismatic. We're just talking, shooting the shit. I think he brought up sports, and at the time I was like a sports fan, so we talked a little bit. And then he just started talking about his game. He's like, if you guys want to play, you can just like play this game. It's $5 for 3 throws. Might as well. And we'll just keep talking. I was like, that's a good deal. $5, 3 throws, and it looks really easy. And he's like, well, I don't want you to think that this is like rigged or anything. I want to show you that this can be done, because, he must have seen us losing. So he demonstrated that it can be done. So he walks up. He's like a little off to the side of where I'm standing, where I have to stand to shoot. And he bounces it off the backboard, first try, right in the bucket. He's like, yeah, I can do this all day. Picks up the ball, does it again, picks up the ball, does it again. He does it like 3 times in a row, and it's like, okay, this game looks really easy. So then he hands me the balls. It's an absolute disaster. I'm sticking my dick in my own ass. I can't get a single ball even close to the bucket, no matter how lightly I throw it or where I'm hitting the backboard. For some reason, it's like it's being shot out of a cannon once it hits that backboard. And it's not making any sense to me, because I'm doing like the exact same thing he is. I'm putting a little spin on it. It's just not getting the job done. Nothing's working. And then he hits me with this proposition. For $10, I'll give you 10 throws, and I'll give you your money back from this round and the previous round, and still give you the big prize. I was like, what in tarnation? This is the nicest guy on earth. What a great deal. 10 throws, $10, and I get all of my money back plus the big prize? What am I waiting for? I'm fucking losing money not playing right now. How am I going to say no to this? That right there is a huge red flag. I didn't know this until well after the fact, but this is a well-known carnival scam. When they start saying you could win your money back, they're doing that because they know you can't. The game is rigged. He shows me again, he's like, hey, let me just make sure you know that you can do this. Just do it just like this. So then he just makes it 5 more times right in front of me. Like, he just shows that it is very easily achievable. Hands me the balls. I go through all 10 balls, nothing even close. Like, sometimes you can get it to bounce off the backboard and hit the basket inside, but the ball's so light that it bounces right out, like, every single time. So now I'm $15 in the shitter, and I'm feeling really bad. Andrew's trying to be like the guardian angel on my shoulder, like, Charlie, let's just go ahead and leave. You're not going to make this. It's clearly too difficult, and there's some trick to it you don't know. And I took that as a challenge. I'm like, excuse me, motherfucker, what did you say to me? You say I can't do this? Sign me up for another round. Let's ride. And it's the same deal. He doubled the price again, so $20 for 10 balls, but I can win my money back. So for $20, I can win my $15 back, and then I'm back where I started, and everything's good, and I get the big prize. So again, I go through all 10 balls, nothing at all. Now this is a lot of money. Again, this was $200. That's everything I had in my wallet. That's everything I had at the time for spendable cash. So this is a lot of money that I am juggling around here. We didn't go to the carnival with the intent to spend a lot, but just getting wrapped up in boredom and just like the will to not keep being a loser at the carnival just kept me spending. So after the $20, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is going on? You know, it's definitely a me problem. I've seen this fucking guy do it, 10 times now. Now let me paint a picture of the guy for you, because it's not like he was some kind of athlete where it's like, oh, this guy, he probably plays in the NBA, he's just got real talent. No, this guy had a body like a bag of hot dogs. Like, he is not some guru of backboard bouncing or anything. So clearly, if he can do it, I should also be able to do it. Anyone should be able to do it. So he demonstrates it's possible again. He's like, bro, look, I really hate to see you lose this much money. I'm not going to double the price this time. Look, just give me another $20. Give me 10 more throws. You can win all your money back, and I'll still give you the prize. I'm like, thank you for being such a nice guy. Damn near wanted to lean over and pat him on the ass. I was like, man, this guy, what a saint. So I give him another $20, and I do my 10 throws, and you know how the story goes. It doesn't go in. None of them go in. They're not even close. So at this point now, what am I, $55, $60 down almost? And it's been like half an hour of just this. Andrew's sitting there watching this whole train wreck happen. And it's not getting any better. The guy's gone from charming to full-blown scam mode. He like completely drops the facade of being nice. After like the second time I did $20 for 10 throws, he's like, yep, you want to do 20 more? You can win your money back. You probably want that money back. So he starts guilting me into it. I'm like, he's right. I need that money back. So I give him another $20. I go through the balls. It's not even close. I lose again. And I'm sweating. I am sweating so fucking hard. Andrew is begging me not to keep playing the game. But I'm seeing red now. And I can't stop. I have to. So I do 20 again for another 10 throws to try and win my money back. I don't do it. I fail again. This fucking, like, this guy is still just prodding, still trying to squeeze every cent out of me. I'm just this dude's little dirty cum rag that he's wringing out and getting some money from. So we continue for another, like, 15, 20 minutes or however long it was. It felt like an eternity, and I'm down to my last $20 in my wallet. And, I'm praying, fucking give that $20 a kiss, and I spend it. I rolled the dice, I went for it one more time, and I don't win. I'm now completely out of money. I tell him that, and I start to just ask if he could just give me some of it back. I'm desperate. I wanted some of it back. I needed some of it back. And he's like, bro, I just can't do that. My boss would be really mad at me if I let that happen. But look, there's an ATM over, like, it was like a couple blocks away. He told me the location. He's like, just go to the ATM, get some more money, come back, and I will absolutely show you the perfect tricks. You're just not getting the technique right, and I'll show you what you're doing wrong. So this piece of shit tried to get me to go to an ATM to get more money out to keep playing his game, which was rigged. There was no way to win from the start. I'm shocked he didn't try and get me to sign some kind of contract with blood, this fucking demon. And I strongly considered it. I did, because that's a lot of money. It was like $140 that I spent on that game. $200 in total at that fucking carnival, but on that game in particular, there was $140 right in the goddamn toilet, right to that stinky dumpster. And I needed that back. Like, I really wanted that back. But Andrew talked me out of actually going to get more money from the ATM. And I didn't go back. I just did the loss. That 2 days scams of my life is where I learned how he was actually. I thought that I remembered on one of those shows, I thought the reason he was angle he was able to throw from. He was able to throw much closer than I was. In this game, there is a line that you have to throw behind. There is like a that you have to throw from behind to participate, and I thought that was the key. Ricochet it off every time into the basket, but it's actually deeper than that. A heavier ball. He didn't use the exact same balls that he gave me. His ball was weighted more, so when it bounced off the backboard, it didn't fly as far. So he was able to get it off the backboard into the basket and have it stay in the basket, and that's why mine couldn't do it. It was something I never noticed at the time, that he wasn't using the same balls he was giving me. He had a heavier one, or a heavier set to use. So even if I went and somehow found $1,000 to put into that game that night, I would have never had a chance of winning my money back, despite this guy showing me how it was done and promising me that if I just made one single ball in that bucket, I'd get all my money back and all the problems would be solved. I still absolutely despise that guy. I hold a grudge on that shit. It takes a lot to scam someone right to their face, especially like an 18-year-old college student who is telling you how much the money means to him, and for you to knowingly keep misleading them and make them believe they can win it back and that you're a good guy, like, you're a giant piece of shit. Besides the obvious lesson I learned from this experience, I also learned how to fuck them in the ass. The games that aren't rigged, I mastered. I decided I want to win all their big prizes because fuck them. I'm able to win their biggest prizes on my first try, and I just give those prizes away to people at the carnival so I never feel scammed again. It's definitely petty, but it's a little bit of revenge for what the carnival took from me on that night. So I posted this video a few years ago, and it's showing me winning like the basketball game and the beer bottle game for the giant prizes. Both of these games are also rigged in favor of the carnival, but I was able to master the way of doing them. So the basketball game, the rim is an oval instead of a circle, so you have to have an absolutely perfect high arcing shot in order for it to make it. And for the beer bottle game, you have to lean at the right time and the right like distance lean, and you can stand it up every time. So I master these games, I get the big prizes, and I give that shit away. Just that way they lose a little bit of money on those prizes, a little bit of pettiness from Charlie. I'm like the fucking Batman of carnivals. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share this story. Maybe it'll be like educational for someone out there, but at the end of the day, I just thought it was a fun story. I'm over it now. I still don't like the guy who did that to me, but yeah, I just thought it was worth sharing. That's about it. See ya. You ready?
Let's dive in. Have you ever had Mom's Pizza?
This is pizza?
It is.
I've never had it. Is it good?
It is. So it's almost like Chipotle for pizza.
Let me look it up.
Mods is solid pizza.
Is this the founder?
That might be. I saw their competitors on the list too. Blaze, and the founder of Blaze is LeBron James.
Really? That is pretty interesting.
So we have one in each of these 25 minutes for lunch.
Yeah, I've never even heard of Mods. It looks fine.
It's good pizza.
Where would you put it?
Honestly, I'd put it, like, if I'm in the mood for pizza, it's an A tier for me. Like, it blows Papa John's and all of that out of the water.
No fucking way.
Yeah,
really?
It's because you go down the line, get exactly what you want, and they just give you your perfect pizza.
Oh my god.
But if you haven't had it, you can put it in Never Ate here too.
Well, this is a team effort here.
Yes.
I'd ideally like to keep as many out of Never Ate as possible.
Yeah. So it's definitely it's an A or B for me. They're both. It's like really solid pizza if I want pizza. Where are you putting Sonic?
Well, I want to hear you first. Because I have a lukewarm opinion on Sonic, so I don't have a whole lot to say about it. But do you feel strongly?
I'm kind of leaning. If it's not complete shit, it's got to be D tier.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a Sonic fan.
So I've never had a bad Sonic experience. It's just really underwhelming and forgettable.
You're not wrong. It's like,
for me, it's like more of a C though.
That's fair. What I will say is I've never gone and said, man, I hated that food, but it's not good food. Like, objectively.
You put it between D and complete shit. That tells me you go there and are insulted by how awful it is.
I guess, alright, complete shit is too harsh, but I would not move it out of D.
Okay.
That was it's 2 in the morning, literally nothing else is open. Let's go to the Sketchy Sonic and get some popcorn chicken.
Now, I could be misremembering, but didn't they used to bring this out on roller skates? They still do? Oh my god.
Which I guess you're right, is worth a rank right there.
Yeah, that is incredible. Those athletes.
Their food tastes like they cut it open a plastic bag and dumped it in a fryer.
Yeah, I just don't have a very strong opinion on them. I've never enjoyed it, and I've never really hated it. Though I will say, shout-outs to the guy who made this tier list with the awful croppings that just says Oni.
Some of those are terrible. Like, the Five Guys one is bad.
I actually thought these were going to, fully expand when I dragged them, but clearly not. Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I'll reverse the complete shit, but I wouldn't move it past D on my end.
I'm going to keep it at C, though, I think, since yours is also similar to mine, but a bit stronger.
Yeah, I'll trust your opinion.
I love Papa John's. For me, Papa John's goes S tier all day. I think Papa John's, if you just want some pizza and you want it quick, you're not needing it. Better ingredients, better pizza, right in your fucking butthole. What do you feel?
It's an A for me, but I do remember liking it the best episode. Relative to the other pizzas, I agree it's the best. But I don't think any of those pizza places, wow.
I think what Papa John's really has going for it is consistency. Like, I've never had Papa John's that was just bad. Even like their mediocre chicken, which is absolutely just store-bought Walmart brand, it's never bad. It's always cooked right. It always gets to you in a reasonable fashion, so it's warm. I've never had a bad experience, ever.
Yeah. When we did the tier list, I think Papa John's was the highest.
Yeah. We were also way too generous with Pizza Hut because they forgot the sauce and it made it so much better. That's true. That is still very controversial.
It was just cheesy, but it was always good.
I'm sure by now most of you know how big of a fan of Honey I am. For those of you that aren't familiar, Honey is this service that installs on your browser an add-on that takes just literally 2 or 3 clicks to install. And once you do that, apply coupons and discounts from pretty much every website you can imagine. It's so many websites. Most recently, as I've talked about on stream, I tried to buy Berserk volumes because I wanted to read the manga. And when I was buying them, I was saving money thanks to Honey just adding a coupon with me doing nothing. Unfortunately, the manga hasn't come yet, but at least I can rest easy at night knowing Honey saved me some money. It is literally free money. You don't do anything extra. It just automatically applies it for you, and you just save money on it. So I absolutely recommend it. If you want to get Honey, go to joinhoney.com/penguinz0, or just click the link in the description below. It's a completely free download. You don't pay for anything. It is just free money. Saves you money doing nothing. So that's joinhoney.com/penguinz0.
The next one